Hi, I'm Steve, and oh my god, you can't see my eyes. I'm Steve, and today I'm going to rank my favorite anime. As you can see here, there's 37 entries. I've picked them from my Annie list. My Annie list is currently sitting at 440 anime watched. So out of 440, I've rated 37 entries at 10. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it for yourself. I'm only going to talk about the ones that I gave a 10, so maybe I'll make a longer video someday. I started this video by wanting to rank all my 440 anime, and you can imagine that would have taken a lot longer, so it took me half an hour to talk about 5 anime. I'm gonna try to shorten this and only talk about my top 10s. I'll trim it even further just so I don't waste your precious time on this list. So I'm not gonna waste too much time. I have this list here. These are randomized. I will try my best to keep it chronologically if I'm talking about a series, like for example Hibiki or K-On! And I noticed that season 2 is in front of season 1. I'll probably start with season 1 or the prequel. Hi, Editing Steve here. You are about to watch a spoiler-free version of this video. Now, I have rewatched the whole footage and I've noticed that there will be some minor spoilers every now and then. Very small ones. I think there's only 2 or 3 entries where I talk about spoilers. You will see some warnings. I will put a little icon here in the corner like this one here with a little timer on it, or if it's something that I think that is important to speak about, I will put the timer in the middle of the screen where you will see with a big text so you don't get surprised by spoilers. That's all I have to say. Enjoy. Starting with Nichijou. Oh my god, what a start to the list. Nichijou is usually my go-to pick if someone asks me what my favorite anime is. So I'll always say, oh, yeah, Nichijou, that's my favorite. Is it really though? Hard to tell. It's definitely my type of humor. It's a comedy anime by Kyoto Animation. The director is Tatsuya Ishihara. He's a goat at Kyoto Animation. He directed so many anime. Yeah, Nichijou is a comedy. It's 3 girls, mainly, and a bunch of other main protagonists who... How should I explain this? The whole anime is just a bunch of skits. You know, in the newspaper, there's these comic strips that are 3 or 4 frames. This is kind of like that, but they turned it into an anime. So even the manga, if you check it, there's a few chapters that are just like 2 pages long, like chapter beginning, chapter end, and then it just continues to whatever next story it is. There's of course some longer ones, but it's usually like just a few pages per chapter, and some, I'd say, like what, maximum between 10 to 20 pages per chapter, and each chapter doesn't have anything to do with the next one, or at least barely anything. It's always something else, something new with different characters. At least for half of the anime. It's the anime has 26 episodes. I would say around 13 episodes. It's kind of like rapid fire comedy. It's if you've seen it, what is it called? It's very similar to Pop Team Epic. Kind of the structure of the anime. It's a lot of tiny skits, sometimes even longer ones, but I would say the last half of the anime, so around 13 episodes, are more connected between each skit. There's more of a connection between the characters and the whole plot, so I'm not gonna spoil too much about it, but I really recommend it if you enjoy a quick laugh. I know a lot of people who know Nichijou have seen it through small shorts on YouTube. Don't just watch the shorts. Please do yourself a favor and watch the whole anime. I promise you won't be disappointed. If you enjoyed those 2-3 skits that you've seen on YouTube, you know, the typical deer wrestling one, or the blue-haired girl, which is Mio, fighting a goat or a policeman. Those are the most popular on YouTube. But if you like those, you will most probably enjoy the whole anime. It's full of those. There's a lot of hidden gems in it, and I can't recommend it more than that. So for those reasons, I will still put it very high. It's one of my all-time favorite anime. Nothing changes about it. I've not rewatched it too many times. Let me see. Yeah, 4 in total. So I've seen it, no, sorry, that means I've watched it 5 times since my first watch through, which was over 10 years ago. So in 10 years, I've watched it 5 times with friends, alone, with other people. I also forgot to mention that the music in Nichijou is absolutely fabulous. And the one and only Yuji Nomi was the composer of this whole OST. Nichijou might be one of the anime which has the most songs in my playlist. The whole orchestral version vibe of it really reminds me of old cartoons that I used to watch as a child. For example, the OG Tom and Jerry or the Pink Panther, a lot of Looney Tunes animations. They all had the same orchestral vibe to it, and Nichijou really reminded me of that. And I think I would go as far as to say that the music alone in Nichijou makes almost half of why I truly enjoyed the anime. For those who know, I'm not really into comedy anime that much anymore. There's some good gems out there, but Nichijou really hits those notes, so it's really my type of comedy. And for those reasons, it deserves a really high spot for me. So I'd say I will put it on S. I'm not gonna choose the favorite yet. I will probably look at my S's or my A's, probably just the S's, and then pick one of those for as my favorite. But yeah, no, Nichijou definitely deserves an S spot. And looking at the next few, that's gonna be a hard comparison, because Hibiki Euphonium is also one of my all-time favorite anime. It's in fact my favorite series of an anime. It's also by Kyoto Animation. You'll see a lot of those. Sound Euphonium, Hibiki Euphonium, it's such a good anime. It's, oh my god, oh, where do I start even? Before I explain myself, let me explain how I rate anime. You know, everyone rates anime differently, depending on art, characters, plot, or whatever there is. I think for me, music takes such a huge chunk of the reasons why I rate an anime high or low. Music can really make or break an anime for me. A lot of anime in my tens are there because of the music. Well, not just because of the music, but thanks to the music. It makes such an impact for me in how I rate anime. It's actually insane. And talking about Hibiki Euphonium, being a music anime of a school band, the music is so fucking good. I can't explain it otherwise. But yeah, no, without too much spoilers, it's an anime about a girl called Kumiko. She starts a new school and picks the music club hesitantly, and she plays the euphonium, which is what you see here in this image. It's an instrument kind of between the French horn and a tuba, like in the middle. It's still in the bass section, and she plays it well, and some other members less, and there's drama, there's it's not really a full-on comedy anime. I would not call this a comedy anime, in fact. It's more of a musical drama anime, and it has such a good writing. The characters feel alive. The way they talk to each other feels so realistic, and everything just feels great. Season 1 is known to be great. Season 2 is known to be even greater. That's why I'm having a little of a trouble, because I really loved Season 1. It's one of my favorite ways to start an anime with a friend. Especially a friend who has been into shonen, who mostly battle anime and all that, and introducing them into some calmer anime. This is, in fact, a slice of life anime, and I would probably put the drama a little bit higher than the slice of life-ishness of it, but I've seen people mistake this anime as, oh, it's just another girl band making music. No, it's a fucking ensemble. It's a whole cast. Let me show you something. Hold on. These here are all the characters in Season 1. All of them have screen time, some more, some less. They all appear in the anime. Whether or not someone wants it, you will see their faces. Look at how many people. This is not a girl band. This is a fucking school. I just counted them all. 68 characters, minus 3 teachers. Imagine that, 68 characters in an anime for just 12, how many? 12? 13 episodes. And now let me show you. This is season 1. This is season 3. 95 characters for season 3. 95! To give you a quick rundown, season 1 and season 2 take place in year 1. You know, in Japanese high school they have 3 years. So year 1 takes place in season 1 and 2. Then the movie takes place during year 2. So the entire year takes place in this movie. And then there's season 3, which takes place in the third and last year. There's also a in-between movie, which is called Liz and the Blue Bird. We'll talk about that in a second. It's also one of my 10s. This one takes place between the movie and season 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, after I think it's still year 2, so it's you're kind of introduced into year 2 already in Liz and the Blue Bird. But the full explanation and characters and plot and all that happens in the movie. So, just so you know. Season 1 though, absolutely fucking bangers. Amazing anime, amazing characters, amazing plot, drama, everything. It's an S. It's an S. The thing is, if I keep rating like that, everything is gonna be on S. Do I want to do this to myself? Okay, you know what? I'll put it on an A. I'll put it on an A. Just so your information, D doesn't mean bad in this context here. A 10 in here would still be good. I enjoyed it. There's a reason why I gave it a 10. It's just so I know what I liked even more. But in this case, I think Nichijou still deserves to be on top of Hibike. I put Hibike on A for a reason, just so I can talk to you about the next seasons. But for now, let's move to A Silent Voice. Another one that I keep saying is my favorite, my all-time favorite. Oh my god. Okay, A Silent Voice. It's a movie. It's from Yamada Naoko. Absolute god of a director. She made some of my favorite movies of all time, and I think she kind of peaked with this movie. No, not peaked. That's not the right word to use. This is when she started to peak. She still makes great movies. I think I have 3 movies of hers in this list, and some anime that she directed or helped animate. But yeah, no, Silent Voice is a beast on its own. It's an amazing movie. It's probably one of the most famous Kyoto Animation works. If I check their studio here, where is it? Kyoto Animation, and go through popularity. It's on the first place. Probably favorites, also on the first place. Average scores, first place. So you get what I mean. It's an absolute masterpiece of a movie. And what I'm about to say might shock you, but A Silent Voice is my most watched anime or movie, respectfully. I have seen it 38 times. 38 fucking times. I do not have a problem. No, thank you very much. It's such a great movie. Okay, why did I watch it this many times? Obviously, I'm not gonna watch it one day after the other and again and again. No, I like to watch anime and movies alongside other reactors. And every time something new pops up for A Silent Voice, I will watch it. I think there's not that many reactors left where I haven't watched the full reaction alongside them, and every time I rewatch A Silent Voice, it still hits the same. It's such a great movie. Uh, I don't want to spoil it too much, so I'm just gonna explain what it is about. It's a movie about a deaf girl. If you haven't seen it yet, actually go watch it. You're losing on nothing here. It's a missing puzzle piece in your life. Just go find that puzzle piece and watch it. You will not regret it. Trust me. It's a movie about a deaf girl. She gets bullied by a kid. At some point, something happens, and the kid gets bullied because everyone turns on him. Um, Years later, bullied kid re encounters deaf girl, and the story goes on from there. So it's a very simple concept, but trust me, the 2 hours you'll spend on this movie, you won't want those back. Hell, I want those back just so I can rewatch this movie for the first time. I don't think there's much to talk about this movie other than it's the perfect anime movie. Okay, now, oh god, can you believe it that this movie, A Silent Voice, has lost a nomination to the fucking Boss Baby? Hi, editing Steve here. This guy over here just ranted for 20 fucking minutes over why the Oscars are a scam and why this movie, A Silent Voice, lost to a Boss Baby. I'm not gonna put this in the video. I had to speed this up, shorten it, and you can hear him blabber and yap here in the background. But just to let you know, yes, he got mad over it for 20 minutes. I'm just gonna cut this here and proceed to the next anime. Thank you. Anyways, next one would be Gunslinger Girls. Now, that's a hidden gem right there. It was made by Madhouse. You know, they're known for Hunter x Hunter, Death Note, One Punch, or even recently Frieren. They made this anime in 2003. Not a lot of people have watched it, considering its age. It's a very sinister anime, very dark. It leaves like a bitter taste in your mouth after every episode. It's an anime about a secret agency who uses these girls as violent killing machines. Or, in other words, like assassins, hitmen. Imagine Hitman, but every single one of these girls is Agent 47. They all have their signature weapon, guns. I don't think their names have anything. Yeah, no, that's another anime. Their names have nothing to do with weapons. But it's mainly about Henrietta. She is the main protagonist of this anime. All the other girls are characterized as main characters as well, but it's mainly about Henrietta. As I said, this anime is really dark. It touches on topics like tragedy, mental health, and goes even further. You can imagine. It's not really a happy-go-lucky anime. There's no real comedy in it. It's just pure tragedy, pure depression. If you like that, this is the anime for you. I really recommend it if you are looking for something a little bit different. It's best to just go in without knowing anything about it. It broke my heart several times, that's all I'm gonna say. Now, Gunslinger Girl, it might be one of my favorite older anime. Now, compared to all the other ones, I think since I've only seen it once, I should really rewatch it someday because it's been like what, a year or two since I watched it? Yeah, almost 2 years now. And I remember really liking it, but of course I have different likings. The music, for example, is very classical. I love classical music, hence the whole sound euphonium, Hibike. The opening and the ED of this anime are just really classic, instantly made it into my playlist. But overall, the anime itself, the plot and everything, it has a second season, and I think it goes even further. But I was told they're not as good, considering they're made by another studio. So I have to check that myself before I have to say anything about it. But I would really recommend you to watch these 13 episodes. and on its own, I think there's no real ending to it. Almost every episode is kind of its own thing. There's a few episodes that are connected, but it doesn't have a whole A to Z story. Of course, it has a continuity, especially since some characters appear in several episodes. As I said, comparing to other anime, I'd say it would belong into a lower tier, especially since I've only seen it once. I would probably put it at C, unless I rewatch it, and then it would probably go to B or A. Or maybe lower, depending on how well I remember it. But I think C is a fitting spot for it. Yeah. Now, another classic, K-On! Not just any K-On!, but I have Season 2 as a 10. I think Season 1 is sitting on a... Ooh, don't be mad at me. I think I lowered it recently. It's, I rewatched it just recently. Yeah, 8.5. Ouch. It's not a bad score. Some people would disagree. I know who. But overall, it's a classic. There's nothing to say about it. It's a classic, and it was voted for the anime of the decade for a reason. So yeah, it's just a classic. If you haven't seen the first season, do yourself a favor and catch up. Do just watch it, even if you don't like slice of life. It's like a must-watch anime. Any anime fan kind of has to watch K-On! Just to be able to say that you've seen it. But yeah, no, I definitely preferred Season 2 more than Season 1. A lot of people agree, most of them. A lot of people don't agree with me that Season 1 is not a masterpiece like Season 2. I don't hate Season 1. I rated it a 9 out of 10 the first time I watched it, but I lowered it a little bit after, what? I rewatched it 6 times in total. The more I rewatch anime, the more I know and understand myself what I like. And K-On! Season 1 is just that great. Season 2, on the other hand, is amazing. It's even better. It looks better, it feels better. The music in this anime, God, let's just talk about that for a second. There's no other anime that can compare to K-On!'s music. The music is so beautifully crafted, it fits to the anime. There's so many fucking songs, there's so many of them, and every single one is a banger. I have a public favorite anime music playlist on YouTube, and there's so many K-On! Songs in it that every time I sit in the car, there's like every 5th song is suddenly a K-On! Song. That's how many there are, and they're just all great. Let alone the intros, the openings, and the EDs. They're classic. Everyone who knows a little bit of anime knows their songs. Even those who haven't seen the anime knows the opening and the EDs. They're just so great, and I think they're also a huge reason why I rated Season 2 higher than Season 1, especially considering since Season 2 is 26 episodes, while Season 1 is only 13 episodes. Double the length, more songs, more things to enjoy, I guess. So, at the end of the day, K-On! In general, it's a timeless classic. There's nothing to say against that. Does it deserve a high spot or a low spot? I'd say it deserves a high spot for me. Not the highest, though. Some people might disagree with me on that, but I think K-On! Truly deserves a spot at A, right next to its other brother or sister of music anime. But yeah, no, if anyone talks about girl band music, girl band anime, and you have to decide which one to watch, K-On! Is the girl band anime. And God, there's so much to talk about it, but I don't want to fill up this video just with me ranting about this anime. Just go fucking watch it, that's all I'm saying. Okay, so, A tier, good. Now, K-On! The movie, which is the next one, it's even better in my opinion. There's, it's also from Yamada Naoko, the same one who directed A Silent Voice and many other here on the list. The movie, oh my god, okay, the movie, I don't know how to explain it. Okay, K-On! Is an anime about 5 girls who create a club at school, and it's a club about music, light music, K-On! They successfully create it, they learn, you can watch how they learn their instruments, they become better with time, and it's as simple as that. It's a slice of life. It's a very wholesome anime, and the whole movie takes place in their last year, if I'm not mistaken. Most of the movie takes place in London, which is kind of like a school trip, except it's just those 5 girls. They used the trip to London as an inspiration to write new songs. And without spoiling too much, a bittersweet segment to the ending of season 2. So the movie doesn't really take place as a finale to both seasons. It takes place, I think, 1 episode before the ending, or 2 maybe. The movie is so well made, as any KyoAni movie. It's so well animated, the composition, everything about it, that I'd say it's on par, if not even better than season 2. If I look at the other things in this list, I think this really deserves a spot at A as well. Yeah, right there. I'm gonna skip this one and put it right behind here, because it wouldn't make any sense otherwise, as well as these here, and let me just grab Violet and put it here so it makes more sense. Violet Evergarden, another famous Kyoto Animation anime. I think it's one, if not, yeah, it's definitely in the top 2 or 3 most popular Kyoto Animation anime. Yeah, popularity, second most watched, average score, can be debated. Violet Evergarden is definitely what is known as a depression anime. It's one of those. A lot of people who've seen it know what I mean. It will, well, it might make you cry. It definitely did for me. It's actually the second most watched anime on my entire list. It's 18 times. Same story as A Silent Voice. I rewatched this over and over because of how famous it is and how many reactions there are of it. For those who don't know what Violet Evergarden is, it's a story about a girl who got captured and gifted to Major Gilbert, or Gilbert, whatever you say his name. He takes her in, slash adopts her, treats her like a daughter, or at least tries to, but the army that caught her kind of wants to use her as a weapon. She's really good at killing people. She's really good at fighting, to the point where she kind of gets brainwashed, almost borderline traumatized, into becoming said weapon for the benefit of the army. Gilbert slash Gilbert, this is the whole gift shift situation. Major Gilbert starts to feel regrets the way he treats her. He wishes that she could live a normal life, to the point where she loses both of her arms. That's not a spoiler, by the way, it's the first thing you see in the anime. And he becomes Miss in Action. Now, what happens out of him? That's for you to find out. It shows the redemption arc of her becoming slowly more and more human. When I say she was brainwashed, I really mean to the point where she doesn't even know what the word love means. The whole anime takes place after the war, or most of it, and she discovers what love really means and what people do after the war, because she's so used to only know about the war that anything else is kind of like strange to her. So she behaves a lot like a robot. A lot of people that I've seen who have watched this anime at first really thought that she was a doll at first, because they keep mentioning doll weapon and they see her metal arms, so they instantly think that she's a robot. No, she's a human being like you and me, but she really needs help in finding out what makes someone really human. The anime has really beautiful music. It's by the one and only Even Cole, who made so many songs for other anime as well. He's a genius, but I think this anime really deserves a high spot for me because of how many times I've seen it and still enjoy it every single time. I still cry every single time I watch it, a beautiful anime. There's nothing much to say about it other than that, and I truly believe it should go into the S category. Violet Evergarden, Eternity, and the Auto Memory Doll. Now, this is the first movie after the anime ended. It's, I'd say, almost like a side story. It doesn't really touch much about the previous happenings in the anime. Of course, it happens after the anime, but the main goal of the anime kind of feels like it got a closure by the end of it. This anime feels a lot more like an OVA, except that it's a movie and is just as beautiful as any other movie that KyoAni made. That's why I actually rated it really high, because of the quality production of it, and of course by the beautiful music of Even Call and everything else. It's I don't think there's much to say about it. It really deserves a high spot as well, not as high as the original anime, because I know a lot of people like this movie, but I've seen some people kind of not skip it, but really just feel like, oh, it's just extra fluff. Nonsense. It's just extra content, and it's new. It looks better. It looks nice. It feels nice, and I really loved it. But I think it would probably go into B tier because of how I wish it would end in a little bit more positive tone, I'd say. It's a nice ending, but it kind of it's a bittersweet ending, so to say. Another good point is that I believe that when I watched this movie, it was not known yet that there was gonna be another movie. A lot of people thought this was gonna be the finale of Violet Evergarden. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was known all this time and I didn't know, but thinking that this was the last thing I'd see of Violet Evergarden kinda makes me put this a little bit lower, because I expected something more pleasant, not in a influencing way of my rating, but it kind of felt like not a real ending to an anime. So that's why I initially actually think I rated it lower than a 10 out of 10. Once the next movie came out, I understood that it's like a bridge between the gap of the first movie and the second movie. Now, talking about the second movie, a lot of people didn't really like it as much as I expected it to, because when I watched it, I felt like it was the perfect ending to Violet Evergarden. Now, this is, I think, an exception to this list. I'm not gonna talk too much about this movie, because it would kind of spoil major things about the anime. So I'm not gonna talk about what happens in it. I'm just gonna say that a lot of people kind of took the anime as the canon ending, and the movie introduced a few things that some people were not really okay with. Well, not really okay, but for some people it was expected, for some it was unexpected. But I've seen a lot of debate about it, and ultimately I'm part of the people who really enjoyed it, and it's, to me, it's the canon ending to Violet Evergarden, the official finale of the series. And I enjoyed it more than the first movie. It's very long, actually. Let me check. I think it is, yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes, while the first movie was 1 hour and 30. So it was almost an entire hour longer. And the movie looks so beautiful. I might be wrong here, but I think Violet Evergarden, the movie, this one, was the first thing that came out after the Kyoto Animation incident, where their studio got the arson attack. It kind of proved the world that they're still here, still fighting, and still alive, just pumping out the same quality as they always did. The movie, I think, most of it was made before the arson, so it's not really the officially first thing that they released after the incident, but nevertheless, it was a welcome welcome back of the studio after everything happened. Everything said, I think I'm gonna put it at A. I still enjoyed the anime more than the movie. Actually, I think I might need to rewatch the movie again, considering I've seen it. God, I've seen it 6 times already. I don't think it's gonna change much, but it's such a good movie, and I'm considering putting it at S. But at the same time, I think the anime is just so much of a classic that I'm gonna leave it at an A. I just realized how many Kyoto Animation entries there are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 9. Holy shit, I might be biased. Let's get to something that isn't Kyoto Animation. Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, I think it's called. Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, yes. It's a very special movie to me. I watched it, I think it was, during COVID. It was during a moment where I didn't really have many good things to watch, and this movie kinda got me back into anime. I took like a small break of anime, and this movie is really beautiful. If you liked movies like A Silent Voice, it's nothing similar, of course. It's a movie about a girl who is in a wheelchair. She rarely goes out in the public because of how cruel people treat handicapped people. It really touches on that theme and shows how many things could be better for people in wheelchairs or people who aren't really able to walk like everyone else. And she meets this student who kind of takes care of her. She becomes like a caretaker, and there's some drama, there's romance. There's a real movie that came out in 2003 by the same name, and it touches the same topics, and it's just a different adaptation except live action. The anime was made by Bones Studio, which are known for things like Hero no Academia or Mob Psycho, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and many other things. It's a very beautifully drawn anime. I would really recommend it if you enjoy some calmer anime. But there's not really much to say about it. It holds a special place in my heart. That's why I put it as a 10. But I would still not put it very high, so I would probably put it at a C, maybe even D. I don't think I could forgive myself if I put this at a D. I would put it at a C. It's one of the lower rated 10s in my list, if that makes sense. Alright, next anime is Sing a Bit of Harmony. This is a really surprising movie. I did not expect to love it this much. I was thinking it's gonna be one of those mediocre movies, but no, it's really great, especially since it was made by GC Staff, which, as some of you know, are known for some infamous things like One Punch Man Season 3 and many other things. It just doesn't feel like it was made by them. Like, what the fuck is going on? It feels like they just bunched up together their best animators, worked on this movie, and then suddenly everyone left, but that's another story. This movie takes place in a futuristic setting where they're slowly introducing robots into the public, and by robots I mean humanoid robots. Like this girl in the middle, she's a robot. She's the prototype of this project, and the test is to introduce this robot here into a school as a high school girl. And she goes into the same school as the daughter of a woman who's been working on this project. The daughter is the only girl in the whole school that knows that it's a robot. Everyone else doesn't. The whole movie is pretty funny and pretty wholesome. The robot looks very creepy and probably on purpose. She does a very bad job at pretending to be human, so a lot of students find out that she's a robot and kind of agree to hide her identity from everyone else. At the end of the day, it's a very interesting movie, especially it's very fitting to what's currently happening in the world. It's like we're getting to the stage, an age of robot revolution. But no, it's a very interesting movie, and I did not expect to like it this much. When I found out that it was by JC Staff. I could not believe that. I thought they helped on this movie, but that it was made by them, absolute respect to them. Uh, the whole movie is also known to be, I wouldn't really call it musical. It has a lot of scenes where they are kind of doing this typical singing, dancing scenes, but it has a lot of good music as well. It's very jazzy at times, very fitting to the futuristic vibes in it, and I could really recommend it to anyone who loves shorter movies, because it's only, what did I say, 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's a very quick watch, especially if you like sci-fi movies that are not over the top, like, oh, in this world in 2000 years into the future. No, this movie could take place in 20 to 30 years into the future. But nonetheless, I would probably rate it a little bit lower. I've only seen it once. I would have to check it more times to get a better opinion of it. It happened before where I rated something at 10, and then I had to lower it. So I hope it stays at 10. I really, really loved it. But is it as good as any other things on this list? I might put this as my first D for me loving it, but not being sure how much I do. So let's leave it at D. Yeah. Now let's get to the first Girls und Panzer. Holy shit. Okay, let me move some things. And the snow one is part 4. I did not put part 2 in this. I'll talk about it in a little bit. I think that's all, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Girls und Panzer. Really, really, really love this. I cannot explain why. I'm not really a car guy or a vehicle in general. Like, I don't really care about it, but holy shit, what the hell is this movie? Okay, so let me explain. There's Girls und Panzer, the anime. The anime has, I don't know, like what, 12 episodes only. After the anime, which is very typical with Actas, the studio who made it, they usually make movies, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, but they announce all the movies in advance, like, oh, there's gonna be 6 movies about this anime, which I find crazy to begin with. The anime itself, I rated a 9.5 out of 10, which is already super high. I loved it. I absolutely love this anime. The movie itself, after this, comes Girls und Panzer, der Film. German title, weirdly enough. Der Film. And after that come 4, I think, so far, 4 parts that are already out. 4 movies. They're not full-length movies. Like, the movie itself, this is getting complicated. There's Girls und Panzer, der Film, which means the movie. The very first one that came out in 2015 is full length, 2 hours. And the whole thing is an arc, is a tournament. Every movie is about them fighting another school. Maybe I should begin from the beginning. What even is Girls und Panzer? It's a fantasy school of a group of girls who live on a boat, believe it or not, and they somehow find these rusted abandoned tanks littered around their boat. By the way, as you've seen in the image, the boat is huge. It's like country-sized. The actual huge, humongous boats. And these abandoned tanks are littered everywhere under boats in the forests and all that. And then they introduce us into the sports of Senshado, tank fighting. It's apparently, back in the day we just fought each other with tanks, and that was our sports, our national sports, or what even. And it's actual fighting, tank on tank, with what looks like real ammunition, but there's no violence in this movie. It's all, oh yeah, you shot my tank, a little white flag pops out, that means the tank is destroyed and we lose. Now, there's several game modes in these types of fights. There's tons of tons of tanks against tons of tanks. Whoever destroys each other's tanks first wins. Or what the movie, and I think the next few movies are about, is one tank in each team has a blue flag. Whoever destroys this main tank wins. No matter how many other tanks you destroy, once this tank is done for, you win. Now, the structure of this anime slash movie is you start with 12 episodes of Ghost and Panzer. It explains the whole story about Senshado tank fighting. They find more and more of those abandoned tanks. They kind of renovate them and they use those as their own tanks for their school. It's always a school against another school. Now, in the first movie of Girls und Panzer der Film, which was the first movie after the anime, the whole plot is about their school closing down. The only way for them to secure their school from closing down is to fight a university school, which is much stronger than them. They are only, what, a few people, a few tanks so far? So you'll see at first, oh, it's just 10 tanks against 100 tanks. And then more and more people start appearing. Those people appearing are from other schools that joined their team, people that you've seen in the anime, which they fought before or they heard of. They become a huge team against the university, which is another huge team. In the whole first movie, the goal is whoever destroys the enemy tanks wins. And if they manage to do that, their school won't close down and their tanks won't be confiscated. Now, the whole movie is really well animated, especially since it's their first tank movie in 2015. Their latest movie just came out recently, and there's another movie coming out soon. Well, soon. They usually come out every 2, sometimes even 3 years later. This movie has to be one of my favorite of the whole series. Like, obviously better than the anime, since it's rated a 10, not a 9.5. If I look at this list here, you see their film, which is the first movie, and there's part 1, part 3, and part 4. And there's a part 5 coming soon. Part 2 was good. It was just 1, 2, as I said. Part 3, the movie. Part 1, part 4. And then the anime, the OVA. And here, part 2, I rated it a 9 out of 10. Amazing movie as well. The whole first movie, their film, was all about their school closing down. The 5 next movies are all one arc, which is the reason of it you find out in the first movie. Which is this one girl who failed her exams, and I think they have to partake into this whole huge-ass tournament, and if they win it, she can retake the exam, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a few years since I've seen the first movie. But each of these movies, they fight a different school from a different country, or at least they don't have really a flag or a country tied to their name, but the school is very stereotypically portrayed as a country. I think the first movie was about them fighting the French, or starting to fight the French. The second movie, they finish the fight against the French and they start the next school. And then the third movie, they finish and so on and so on. So it's never one movie from A to Z. They always start in one movie and the end into the next movie. There's been in total 5 movies so far. So the film, as I said, my favorite, 10 out of 10. You have part 1. I also gave it a 10 out of 10, but I believe that the first movie, which was a full-timed movie, deserves a high spot on my list. Where's the list? Here. I would, without any doubt, put this at an S. It was so good, and it surprised me. It made me realize that I like stuff that I didn't even think that I would like, and it deserves an S spot. I would not put it anywhere under S. That's how good it is to me. Now the other movies, as I said, there is part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. These are all a little bit shorter movies. So as you can see here, part 1 was 47 minutes. They introduced a new plot, the reason why they have to do the tournament, and they start the first big fight here in this movie. Before the fight finishes, there's the part 2. Part 2, they finish the first fight and they get to the next school. This one was a little bit longer, 54 minutes, but as you can see, they're always under an hour. Part 3, same story, 48 minutes. Part 4, same story, 54 minutes. Now, this movie I watched just recently. Well, recently, that was last year. It was. It might be a recency bias. It was my favorite out of all four, but all four of them have their good moments. Part two, a little bit less. I didn't think it would. It was a perfect movie, so I rated it a little bit lower, 9 out of 10. But considering it, I don't know. I've seen every movie more than once except the last one. Like if I check, even no, actually no, I didn't. Part one I've seen 3 times. Really? Part two I didn't watch more than once. Part two I didn't see more than once. Part three neither, and part four apparently not. So yeah, I've only seen them all once except part one. I for safety, I'm probably gonna put them all in A, even though I really loved part four. Part two would be somewhere here. Yeah, I think it's better like this way, because if I put part four in S, meanwhile I've seen the movie several times, the first one, that wouldn't make it any justice. So I'd say this would be the better tier classification for it. Oh, I didn't even talk about my figure collection. Holy shit. Almost every single entry of this anime list, except the D tier, C tier, yeah, only except those two and the movie Silent Voice. I have figures for every single entry of here. I have an entire, I don't know if you can see it here. Hold on, let me just turn on the light here. This here, actually, I'm just gonna put a picture in it. Otherwise the light is flickering, as you can see. So I'm gonna turn this off again and put an image on this side here. As you can see, there's different girls from different schools. From the left, you have the Russian school, then you have Japanese school, you have the Finnish school, and then at the very corner, the British school, and then the orange-haired girl and the girl with the ammo is from the Oarai school, the main protagonist. All in all, this just shows how much I like the anime. Every anime figure that I have here usually comes from an anime that I really loved, and I kind of wanted to support the anime studio. So let's get to the next one. Akebi's Sailor Uniform. This is a very interesting anime. It's a story about a high school girl who gets to pick her first high school, as you do in real life, depending on where you live. And she picks a school that still uses traditional sailor uniforms. I think you can see it on this image here. This is the sailor uniform. Too bad that once she applies for it, she realizes that they don't use those sailor uniforms anymore. So she's the only one in the whole school that gets an exception, and she may still use this uniform for school because I believe her mother used to go to that school, and maybe even her grandmother. It's been a while since I've seen it. But she inherited that costume, that outfit, and she stands out from everyone else. So the whole anime is pretty wholesome. It's a whole typical cute girls doing cute things. The reason why I really liked it is because I'm a big fan of the manga. Now, I have the whole series here. The manga was made by Hiro, who is a kind of special case as a mangaka. He doesn't really draw manga with the typical, you know, the different panels as everyone does. He also does, of course. But what's special about him, he does a lot of single-paged drawings. For example, here's an extreme drawing. An extreme example, sorry. The main protagonist doing a front flip. So let's just have, I don't know, 15 pages of her doing a full front flip, or maybe even a back flip, and it goes on, and it goes on, and then she lands. This is so typical Hiro. He does this quite a lot in this manga, and I like that they really took their time to animate this in the anime. Just like, for example, oh, let's show how she ties her hair into a ponytail. Here are 6, 7, 8 steps on how to tie your ponytail. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it's kind of different from other manga that I've seen. The whole story takes place in high school, as I said, with 16 high school girls, with the protagonist being Akebi. And it's a very slice of life anime. There's not much to say about it. It just shows what they do in school. So dancing, singing, cheerleading, and whatever else there is. It sounds very boring, but that's what Yashike is. Yashike meaning it's a manga or anime that heals you, that feels soothing. You could say the same thing about any other slice of life, but what differs this one from any other slice of life, in my opinion, from the ones I watched, this is a pure slice of life. It's pure Yashike. It doesn't have any drama. It's some comedy. There's some Yuri tones in it, if you're interested in that. Yeah, no, it's if you're not into slice of life, this anime might really not be for you, because, as they say, nothing ever happens. Except that in a slice of life, if they drink the wrong tea, suddenly that's a big deal. One last thing before I rate it, I wanted to show it to you. Something that caught my eye is the background art in this manga by Hiro. He draws a lot of details in his backgrounds, and it reminds me a lot of one of my favorite manga, which is Witch Hat Atelier. It's an anime that's coming soon. And as you can see as a comparison, the background art is amazing. The art is great. And I can't wait for the anime to come out, because I hope they put as much effort into the anime compared to the manga. So this is what drew me towards the manga at first, and as I've seen, there was an anime, so I watched it as well, and I was glad that Cloverworks, who was the studio who worked on it, put as much effort as they could into it. I checked the staff list, and it's huge. I could not believe how many people actually worked on this anime, and you kinda see it, you feel it while watching it. There's so many detailed scenes, and for a slice of life, that's actually a lucky thing, because most slice of lives nowadays feel like they're just average, with very cheaply made animation, if you care about it. But even without having a proper plot, there's still enough stuff that keeps you interested in watching. With all that said, you'd think I would put this very high, but no, in fact I will put a little bit lower, because I only watched it once. It's one of my few 10s that I've only seen it once. I have yet to find another good reaction online that lets me rewatch it and give it a better understanding, maybe even a different score. I rated it a 10 because I really loved it as I watched, but of course that might always change. So, as it is tradition with stuff that I've only seen it once, well, not really tradition, but I will put it most probably at the D. I love it beyond anything, especially compared to other people who call it the art style insect faces, people with insect eyes. I heavily disagree with that, and you know who you are. It's not an anime that I can compare to the big ones that I've seen many times and kept enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep it at a D. Here's an interesting one: Sono Pescador, or My Dress Up Darling. This is interesting to me because I usually really hate fan service in anime, to the point where if it's done not in a tasteful way, it just makes me want to drop the anime. Now, this anime being done originally by a female mangaka, maybe the reason why I kind of forgive it. There's been many videos about it where they explain how this anime does it right, how the fan service is not all over the place, how it doesn't disrupt the flow of the story. What I don't like about fan service is when, especially when there's a serious moment, and it gets interrupted with a dumb joke, or a fan service scene, a panty shot. Oh wow, we just cried over this person, here's my panties. That's absolutely bonkers to me that people enjoy that. Nothing against it, you enjoy what you want, more power to you. I can't deal with that. So this anime being in my 10s is actually a wonder. I do not understand still how I don't have any problems with it. I've talked about it with other people, and we all kind of agreed that it's especially because it was made by a female mangaka, and she apparently knows how to do it well without it being kind of cringe. The other reason why I really love My Dress Up Darling. Oh, and for those who don't know what My Dress Up Darling is, it's about a high school girl who really loves cosplaying. On the outside, she looks kind of like a gal, like a gyaru. Gyaru is a Japanese fashion style which portrays an extreme westernized feminine look. Marine, being the main protagonist, looks like that, so a lot of people are kind of afraid to approach her. The male protagonist is called Gojo, and he likes to make dolls. So he really likes to do tailoring, sewing, and all that, painting on doll faces. And Marin finds out that he likes to do that, so she asks him for advice to do a cosplay costume. She shows him her own made costume, and he says it's terrible, so he's gonna make her a new one. And that's how their friendship starts. And it's really nice to learn a lot from this anime, because it teaches you a ton about makeup, facial structure during cosplay with tapes, wigs, anything that you can imagine about cosplay. If you like cosplay, this anime is for you. I love cosplay. I regularly cosplay every single year at Gamescom and Dokebi. I'm going to Japan this year, not just for cosplaying, but I will be cosplaying at Comiket. I go anywhere I can, if I can, and go into I'm probably putting some pictures here on the side, as you can see, always in this retro looking monitor head cosplay. And this anime really resonated with me, especially with the cosplay side of it. But there being a lot of fan service, well, not a lot, but quite some fan service in it, I'm really surprised that it didn't bother me at all. There might be maybe a scene or two that I found kind of weird, but I don't remember. It was really surprising to see how much I enjoyed my time with it. So I think the thing is, I've seen also season 2, so I don't know, I can't really tell which one I liked more, because I've only seen, well, no, I've seen this 4 times, but I've only seen season 2 once, and season 1, the last time I've seen it, or the last time I've rewatched it, has been a while. I would have to probably rewatch it again this year or next year. I think I enjoyed both just as much. It's kind of hard to tell, but I think I'm gonna put at least season 1 in B? It was great. It was amazing. Was it as great as the other anime up here? Maybe not, but I don't think it deserves a low spot. It's a 10. Like, as I said, all of these are 10, so I love them all so much, but I think I'm gonna put it at B. That probably fits it better. Out of all the entries in this list, including the ones that I've already rated, Lycoris Recoil might be the only one I'm the most uncertain about giving a 10. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. It's an anime about, imagine if anti-crime was organized by employing high school girls with guns. So before crime happens, they're hyper-organized. They know what is going to happen, where it's going to happen before it even happens. Instead of apprehending criminals, they just shoot those criminals. The anime itself it's amazing. It's by Cloverworks, and it came out in 2022 as well, so it's pretty recent. Let me explain you something that I enjoy that some people might not understand. I like unorthodox things. That means something that is out of norm, something unusual. For example, high school girls with guns, or people in a maid costume skateboarding. When was the last time you've seen a maid with a skateboard? Something that goes with another thing that you usually don't see them together, like something completely irrelevant to another. A cat girl with a bloody baseball bat. The artistic meaning behind art like that, I really love. That's why I follow a lot of artists that draw really surrealistic art. And not saying that Licorice Recall is surrealistic, but it is pretty unorthodox in ways that it handles girls. You'd see the cover and you'd think, oh, it's just cute girls doing cute things. No, these are people who shoot other people with real bullets. But yeah, no, in general, the whole organization is about anti-crime, and there's a lot of drama in it. There's a villain. There's a lot of crime that they have to solve within the organization and outside of the organization. Apparently it's getting a season 2, if I'm not mistaken. It has been announced already, yes, but without a release date. Can't wait for it to happen. The anime, I rated it, I think, a 9 out of 10 the first time I watched it. I rewatched it a second time after the announced season 2, and I remember when I rated it a 9, I was telling to myself, okay, so if there is a sequel to this, I will change my rating to a 10, because I really loved it. I just didn't like the way it ended. It didn't feel finished yet. It gave me that unsatisfaction feeling. So I after I knew that there was going to be a season 2, I changed it to a 10. Now, was this the right move to do? I don't know. I need to rewatch this because, as I said, this is one of the anime that I'm really unsure about what to give it as a rating. I felt like 9 was fine, but still didn't feel like high enough. I really loved it. And as I said, I really love unorthodox things like girls with guns. For example, if I look here on the left, you'll see this here. I have a ton of figures with guns. Even though I'm not someone who is really interested in guns, it's something that I enjoy in animation or movies, apparently. So it's really hard. I need to rewatch this in order to be able to tell exactly how I feel about it. So for these reasons, I think unless season 2 comes out and I really enjoy the whole series, the whole flow of the anime, I'm gonna keep it in a low tier, because I do not think that it currently deserves a high tier, especially since I might still change the rating of this anime back to a 9, or if I really enjoyed it, I'll leave it at a 10, but I'm gonna put it at a C. Alright, one more for today. As you can see, this video is taking so long that I've been recording it for several days. You probably haven't noticed. I'm gonna do this one here maybe after Frieren. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about this one. Hibike Euphonium Ensemble Contest, which is a very interesting choice by Kyoto Animation. It's an OVA. It's made by Kyoto Animation, as I said. It takes place between, it says it here, between year 2 and year 3. So between season 2, the movies, and then this OVA, and then season 3. Now, you'd think an OVA lasts for like one episode. No, this thing is 1 hour long. It's almost like a movie. I did not think I would enjoy this, because usually OVAs are lower quality or low effort fillers. I don't like to use this word, but it's like extra content for people who buy the CDs, or I don't remember exactly how they treat OVAs. But in this case, the OVA was actually really well made. You could say that it was 2 extra episodes of the anime. The whole point of this OVA is a mini arc where they do like a contest within the school. So they form different groups. They all choose which songs to play. I think it's like a fair that they're doing. It's like a festival, small school festival, and the parents will visit it, and it's open to the public. So people will come, each of them will play in front of them, and they will get rated who is the better one. Now, you don't see the actual concert of them playing, because that would be like 20 different groups or more, but you see a rapid fire montage, which was actually really well made, because you see so much of it in such a short time. In like 5 to 10 minutes, you see all the songs, who wins, the scores and everything, but the preparation to that is actually the main meat of this OVA. There's some reoccurring characters, some characters that you've seen, especially in Liz and the Bluebird. I don't know why they put both movies like this. It's first Liz and the Bluebird and then the Shikai movie. There's some characters in it that you learn more about. They go in depth about how they got here, what their story is, and it gives you a chance to familiarize with the new characters as well. So this is nice introduction to season 3, I think. You cannot watch this, or you shouldn't watch this OVA without having seen both movies beforehand, or at least not Liz and the Bluebird, just to understand some context. Overall, this was such a good OVA, and it's not something that you have to see. I, in fact, watched this after season 3, I believe. I didn't know it existed until then. I watched this in February and season 3 came in, April last year. Just as an example of why I enjoyed this much, when was the last time you add an original song from an OVA into your favorite songs playlist? I don't remember when I did that last, but this anime, or this OVA, made me add the songs, more than one song, into my favorites playlist, which is insane. I love music. I absolutely love music. I can't stress enough how much I love this kind of music. It's the best OVA. I was gonna say one of the, but it's the best OVA, and I think it's the only OVA in this list. Yeah, it's the only OVA I ever gave a 10. Absolutely insane. I need to put this... I can't place this in the same tier as season 1 though, I think. Season 1 was so good. It was so good. I'm forced to put this in B. I can't place this higher unless I put this in S, but there's a reason why I don't, and I'll explain to you later. So I'm putting this in B, and that makes most sense to me. You know, looking at this list, I think I'm gonna put Lycoris Recoil at a D. It only makes sense because, as I said, it was originally under a 10 at first, and considering these two animes here, I've put them here not just because I've only seen them once, but because I didn't enjoy them as much as all the rest. I still love them a lot, but it only makes sense if I put this at D. Frieren. Good anime. Is there anything to say about it? If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's an anime about an elf who is really, really good at magic. In a world where she is part of a group of adventurers who beat the super evil, mean demon king, and this happens all after they defeated the demon king. So the first episode is right after they did it. Well, not right after, it's at their arrival to the kingdom. So they get praise and all. And there's a lot of time skips in this anime. It touches a lot of topics like death, grievance, regrets. I mean, overall, it's just a good anime. I don't think I have to explain myself why it's a good anime. The second season is about to come out as I'm recording this. Well, not soon, but soon-ish. I'm using a plugin here for my analyst, and as you can see, I have 99.52 days of watch time, and 4.22% of that is Frieren. So that makes Frieren my technically most watched anime if we're only looking at watch time. So that's... I only found out about this yesterday, so that explains how good it is. I watched it 8 times. It has, what, 24, 26, 28 episodes. One of the best arcs in an anime that I've seen so far. Really loved the tournament arc, but I'm not gonna say too much about it if you haven't seen the anime. You should really just go in blind. It's it has a slow start. It slowly builds up. It's not a action. It has a slow build up between each arc, and each arc has its own climax. So really a perfect anime in my opinion. and I think a lot of people would agree with me. This is a legendary anime in my book, and I think it really just deserves a high spot on my list. There's not much to talk about it. It's a recent anime, everyone knows about it. If you don't, I already told you, go watch it. But I'll put it on as an S. I don't see any reasons why I wouldn't. There are a lot of reasons why I like Frieren the way I do. One of the reasons, of course, music by Evencol. Where is he? Here, Evencol. He has done so many things, man. He's a legend. He's done, obviously, the music for Violet Evergarden, as I said. José the Tiger, legendary music. My Happy Marriage, I don't remember much of it. It's been a while since I watched it. Didn't really love the music. I mean, the anime. But yeah, 7.5 is still good. I remember having a good time with it. I hope it doesn't end. Ever. But I also do want it to end. I don't want them to milk it for ages and ages. I don't like infinitely running anime and manga. I know some people love it. One Piece, things like that. There's reasons behind it, but Frieren, I would love to watch this for the next 20 years, like a new season every 2 years or so, but no, it's I'm fully happy knowing that it would probably end in one or more, 2 more seasons, maybe a movie after that. I'd be happy with that. I hope it gets to a movie at some point, because movies like these, series like these, usually really do well when it comes to a movie, so who knows. All in all, S tier, as I said, no further comments on it. Sonobisk Season 2, My Dress Up Darling Season 2. Now, what differentiates it from Season 1? It obviously looks a little bit better. They touch on further topics in romance. If you don't know, the anime is about a romance. Not mainly, at least not in Season 1. It starts a few episodes in where the romance starts to has like a kickstart, and by now, Season 2, there is a full-on romance topic in it. Not a confirmed one by both parties, just from one side. So I'm waiting for something to happen, maybe Season 3 or something. I don't know, we haven't gotten any announcements yet. I know there will be something new, because it can't end like that. And I know the manga, I think, is almost finished, if not already. Yeah, it is already finished, just recently as well, July this year. I mean, who knows? I'm looking forward to it. Season 2 on its own, fantastic anime. There's not much for me to add it compared to Season 1. New characters. The character designs I really love, and I wonder if the mangaka is also the creator for the art. Yes, story and art. Okay, great. Can't wait to see more from her, even things that aren't about Dress Up Darling. I wonder actually if she likes cosplay, or if that's just a topic she picked for her manga, but I believe she probably does. So maybe another cosplay themed manga? I don't know. Music was great, the art was amazing. Cloverworks, of course. Although Cloverworks sometimes is more of a coin toss. They tend to do mostly good. I've seen some things of them which are kinda eh. Windbreaker was one of those Spy Family, I haven't seen more than Season 2 or Core 2. Man, Wonder Egg. Oh, okay, you know what? Amazing anime. I know a lot of people hate how it ended. On its own, it's such a great anime. But we're not talking about that yet. I haven't rated it at 10. I'm actually not even gonna show you what I rated it, or otherwise I'm gonna have people yell at me. Horimiya, one of my most recent anime. I think that's... I think it is the most recent anime I've seen of them. Horimiya? No, it was the Reze movie. Okay. Either way, as you can see, Cloverworks does some good, sometimes but most of the time it's pretty good. And My Dress Up Darling being one of the good ones, I think it still deserves a high spot. I think I liked it more than Season 1. Even though Season 1 was kinda, ooh, that's something new. Season 2 kind of took that and made it even better. So I'm gonna put this as an A. I actually liked it so much that I even bought a figure from it. In fact, looking at my list, 80% of all the things in here, I bought figures. I have over 200 and... how much was it? 297, no, 65 figures, plus minus 5, because there's a few that are not listed. If I like something, I will buy a figure, or at least I used to. Now I'm buying a lot less, but I'll do probably a video someday of all my figures and then show which anime they belong to. Sonabisk Season 2 A. I think that's very fitting. Now let's get to a very special anime to me, Tengoku Daimakyu, or also known as why is it not Heavenly Delusion? No idea why this is in Japanese here. Heavenly Delusion, a very interesting anime. It takes place in the near future. It's like sort of an apocalyptic anime. It's about a girl and a boy who are stuck outside, traveling from one place to another. They're searching for something. I'm not going to talk too much about it so I don't spoil, but this world is kind of taking place after the world has collapsed. We sort of learn about what happened before it collapsed, and during the collapse, and after the collapse. After the collapse, we have these two main characters who are almost like brothers and sisters to each other, although it turns kind of into romance a little bit later. A very, very small spoiler, first spoiler of this video by the way, just skip 10 seconds, you're not missing out anything, is talking about the gender of that one character, you know, who, a spoiler? I don't really know, you let me know. I just said girl because I didn't want to spoil it, but anyways, but besides that, it's an anime that I somehow keep think about. If I'm like thinking idly about anime, this anime always pops into my mind. And I think it's especially because of that one scene in it that is very traumatic, and I don't really want to talk about it because that would be a spoiler, but oh my god, that moment really broke my entire heart into a million billion pieces. I still think about it every now and then. It's insane how great this is. There are of course a few episodes that I like a little bit less, but overall it was such an enjoyment, and I've seen it 3 times. I thought I was watching it a little bit more, but it's such a good anime, and if you haven't seen it yet, if you like anything that isn't... it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of action, there's a little bit of slice of life-ishness to it, there's some drama, some romance, some comedies, there's a little bit of everything in it, and I can't recommend it more. It was made by Production IG, which is known for a few things. Now, I don't know much about the studio other than the things that I've already seen from them. From what I'm looking at, they've done a lot of good, very popular things, very famous anime. Attack on Titan, Haikyuu, probably no one has seen The Girl from the Other Side, really good anime by the way, or movie. There's both. But yeah, Furikuri, they did so many good things, and I don't know, looking at it, it feels like they've done most of the good stuff, but I know that some entries, Uzumaki or Awashi, not really the best in my opinion, but that's subjective. I really loved Tengoku Daimakyu. Really, really good anime. It's a journey, and I really recommend it to anyone. As I said, it's about these two people who are looking for heaven, which is supposedly a safe zone during this apocalypse. They're looking for other humans. There are still humans around, but there's also monsters. They don't encounter... it's not like a monster-filled world, but you slowly learn that these monsters have been turned into something that shouldn't exist. Each monster does something different. They're really creepy, and this is one of the first anime that really made me weirded out by some of the monsters. It's not just, ooh, I'm a monster, I'm gonna chop your head off. No, it's they have some, I wouldn't really call it powers, but on the other hand, yes, it kind of is like a superpower. Uh, it's a very tragic story as well, and that's why I don't really want to talk about it, because a lot of things could be spoiled, and you'd have to figure it out yourself. Now, by the end of it, it doesn't give you on paper, on black and white, what the plot twist is of the entire anime. You'd kind of have to figure that out yourself, and me being a little bit dumb, I kind of figured that out pretty late. Rewatching this anime made me realize how early you can actually notice that something is wrong. The whole thing is kind of fucked up, but I'm not gonna say much. I'm just gonna say that it's such a fantastic anime. It's a brilliant anime. Anything about it, I really, really loved. The fact that I keep remembering about it every now and then is proof enough that I absolutely fell in love with it. The voice actors are also amazing. Some of the characters are really memorable, to the point where I, as I said, still remember them, even though the last time I watched it was probably a year ago or so. I've seen this in 2023, by the end of COVID, probably a little bit later, and I just wished that there would be a sequel. We haven't heard anything about this. I haven't checked if the manga is finished. Apparently not, since it's still releasing. It's not in hiatus. I don't know if the anime was sort of one of those advertisements for the manga, but I really wish they would make a second season, or at least a movie, or anything, because the movie, the anime ended in a way where it kind of teases in a continuation, even though the anime itself doesn't really have a climax to it. It's more of a, oh look, this happened, goodbye. That's basically what happened. So I really hope that someday the production IG announces a continuation of this anime. Will it happen? I don't have high hopes, but if it does happen, I will definitely 100% watch it. That said, for this to be such a memorable anime, I believe it deserves a higher spot. Not too high, but I wouldn't put it any lower than a B, I'd say. So it's either gonna be an A or a B. Now, does it deserve to be as high as any of those in A? Every time I think about this anime, I think about this one episode that I didn't really like. It doesn't warrant the anime to be under a 10 out of 10, even with that episode. But, and I'm not talking about that episode that broke my heart. It's another episode which kind of changed the art style of it, because it was animated by a different studio, from what I've read. And what kind of frustrated me about it is it happened right after, or at least one or two episodes after, this one episode that really stuck with me. And the whole anime is very dark. It has a serious tone to it. But, of course it has a little bit of jokes here and there. But the thing is, if, as I said before, if an anime goes for a very long time in serious mode, and suddenly you have kind of like a comedic episode, it just doesn't really fit in this anime. And surprisingly, it's the one thing that I keep remembering about this anime as well, whenever I think about it. So, if it's kind of hard. I think I have to put it at B. It's a great anime, amazing anime. It just doesn't deserve to be with the big ones at the top, I would say. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it at B and be over with it. So, the next one would be another Yamada Naoko movie called, I forgot the name. Kimi no Iro. or The Colors Within, that's the name. As I said, it was directed by Naoko Yamada. She worked on so many movies. She directed the Silent Voice movie, she worked on Nichijou, I believe. She also worked on Violet Evergarden. I'm not sure if she worked on the movie though, because she left Kyoto Animation shortly after the incident, so I'd have to check that. But she definitely directed the K-On! Movie and most probably also worked on Hibike Euphonium. Either way, the movie is about a girl who goes in a Christian school, and I was told by some other people that if there's nuns in it, that makes it a Catholic school. I'm not very familiar with religion, but she goes in a religious school and she has the ability to see colors. There's a name for it. Synesthesia, that's what she has. And she can see people's colors, which is pretty funny because the whole movie is about her discovering her own color, which is the only color she can't see. She makes friends with another girl who quit the school and a boy who they met in a library for used books. They all three start to make music. It's mostly religious music, but it has the modern vibe to it. It kind of brings them all together. So it's a very simple synopsis in a way, but it's such a beautiful movie. Naoko Yamada really manages to somehow make every movie pop with colors, and the story, the character design, everything is really lovely and brilliant. Naoko Yamada is known for crafting authentic character interactions, and the whole bubbliness and cuteness in the anime that she worked on kinda enhances that. She always meets the expectations of her movies. I feel like every time the new movie comes out, it's either as good or even better. It started with her working or directing the K-On! Movie as her first directed movie, which was peak, and she then moved on to Tamako Love Story, which we'll talk about later. It's also a 10 out of 10 in my list, which I felt was even better, and she then moved on to A Silent Voice, which was commonly known as one of the best movies ever. And shortly after, she worked on Listen the Bluebird, which is another movie, we'll talk about it. And even just these two here, Listen to Bluebird and The Silent Voice, it's really hard to tell which one I would prefer over the other. They're just that good, but it gets better and better and better. And I agree that The Colors Within, her last directed movie so far, kinda gets on par, if not maybe even better than her last movie, Listen to Bluebird. It's really hard to pick a side which one is better because they all have their own strengths. And for The Color Within, I feel like the strength in this one is the narration of the story, which is very simple, but it's so well crafted. For example, one of the main topics in this movie is how people are liars and the way they cope with it. For example, the three protagonists of this movie are all per se liars, but not in a malicious way. It's more of a small lie, for example, when you desire something, or when you're lying about someone being over at your house and you don't want people to find out. For example, the main protagonist, Totsuko, she deals with it, she copes with it with faith. The other people, the other girl, for example, Kimi, has a lot of guilt when she lies to her, I believe it's her grandmother, correct me on that if I'm wrong, about how she is still in the same school even though she already quit, because all she really wants to do is music. The movie does a really good job at portraying that, to see how people react and handle lying and the regret after it. And I think that Naoko Yamada did a superb job at portraying that in a simple slice of life movie, and I believe that made me really fall in love with it. I think this is one of the few movies that I did not watch it as soon as it came out. I waited a little bit longer. That doesn't change anything. I would still believe that since it's such a masterpiece from Naoko Yamada, I will put it in an S, because I can't think of any ways that it would belong any deeper than that. It really just deserves an S. It's a masterpiece, and I highly suggest you to watch it. There's really no reaction on it on YouTube. I haven't seen a single one. Only reviews and people who have done hour-long talks of it, or podcasts and whatever. No reactions at all, and which really surprises me, considering the movie came out in a year or two ago. It was aired in summer 2024, and I've watched it early this year in March. So please do me a favor and go watch it, and while you're at it, make a reaction out of it or something, just so I have an excuse to rewatch the movie. I'd really love that. And as I said, the music in the movie is also really great. I've put some of it in my playlist, which keeps playing in my car, and I'm really happy for it. To the next one, which is kind of a surprise to me, Oshinoko, the second season, not the first one. First one, I think I rated a little bit lower. If I believe it was a 9 out of 10. It was still a great anime. Yeah, 9 out of 10. The second season, I rated a 10 out of 10. It was surprisingly cinematic. Does that make sense? Maybe not. Maybe it's not really the way it was portrayed, but I have no big interest in the things that happen in this movie. Like, I don't really have a big interest in idol culture, unless you count Hololive, but let's not go that way. I'm a little bit guilty there. But acting, no real interest there either. What I really liked about this anime is how it presents the negative side of idol culture. Now, that's something I believe I haven't seen in any other movie or anime so far. I've seen people compare this to Perfect Blue, how it's been done before. They've talked about how idols have stalkers and all that. I don't think there's any way to compare the movie and the anime. For example, this anime starts with an hour-long episode where they talk about the very super popular idol whose name is Ai Hoshino. She got so popular that she started to gather some really weird fans, but as any idol does, at some point, once they become too popular. In episode 1, she becomes pregnant, which is a very, very big no-no in idol culture. Her doctor, who is going to help her with her birth, is a super fan of her. And I will be talking about a spoiler that happens in episode 1, so feel free to skip to this timestamp. He gets killed. Yes, this anime can technically be considered a reincarnation anime. I really don't like when people say that this is an isekai, because it really isn't. It's really just for the first episode of what happens. I don't think that it's going to have such a big impact in this anime of the main protagonist, which is the doctor, being rebirthed as the child of Ai Hoshino, the pregnant idol. It's a mind blow, and once she gives birth to the baby, it's him, but with the same memories, but as a baby. So he grows up with the same. They show the difficulties of an adult being in a baby body. Some problems with the memories. You can't really move as you want. And as he gets older, he reaches a point and age where... Oh yeah, and he has a sister as well. So she has twins. They both are the same age. I'm not gonna spoil who she really is, even though it's known. It's just, he is the doctor. They both reach an age where those weird fans of the main idol, one of them is so weird that I think he finds out that she got pregnant, and it's happened in real life before. It's very sad how idols who have found a boyfriend and keep it secret, and they somehow end up getting hurt, or even worse, killed by their idol fans. In this case, Ai Hoshino gets murdered. The whole anime, season 1 and season 2 so far, is about... I forgot what his name is. His reincarnated name is Aquamarine, and he seeks revenge. So his whole purpose in life, from that point on, when she got murdered, is to find out who orchestrated it. Season 2, why did I like it more than Season 1? Now, Season 2 has a whole arc where they are preparing or practicing to do this one theater piece. It's an actual serious theater, so it's in an arena or a stadium thingy where the whole part where the people are sat on the seats, they rotate so that the actors and the decoration also move, which is a real thing in Japan and in many other places in the world. It's known for being more efficient where, let's say you have a setting here and then you have the actors here, everyone is looking towards here. But at the same time, they are preparing the set here on the side. When the curtains go down here, or the projectors or whatever they're prepared, the seats slowly move here and the actors move here. So it's a whole interactive theater situation. The whole part where they are practicing for this piece is really well made, because you see actually how every single character kind of deals with certain hardships in this play. For example, Aquamarine is more of a reserved, not really shy, but he's more of an introvert person. And then you have Ruby, his sister, who is a little bit more extroverted. The way they deal with these scenes are really well explained and portrayed in the anime. You also have the other characters, which also appeared in Season 1. For example, the forgotten actor on the left, which is, her name is Kana. She already has the experience of acting, because that's all she's been doing her lifelong as a child. So her being back in the acting scene kinda shows different techniques that they use, and also the different gap between their experience in acting. The whole first season is also about the sister wanting to start a idol group with Kana and the one here in the middle. Her name is Memchul, or at least her online name. The three create an idol group, which has a continuation in Season 2, but since Kana is also part of this acting group, you have some rivalry with Aquamarine's girlfriend, or current girlfriend, on the right. Her name, I don't remember, it's Akane. They all kind of have a lot of drama, and the anime really does a really good job at not making it too stereotypical in any other drama anime. It's all really handled in a realistic way. Even the idol part, you see a lot of current modern techniques like YouTube tricks or how to gain followers on Twitter. They actually show exactly what should be done, or at least at the time of animating this. And you have in Season 2, which is mostly focused on the interest of Aquamarine, Current's girlfriend, who is also a child actress. And as I said, there's a lot of realistic portrayals of their acting skills and behaviors, which I don't really see in a lot of other anime. I really like that about an anime where they show relationships and the way they talk to each other in a realistic way, compared to other anime where they talk like complete buffoons. I overall really enjoyed it. I think the story is as capturing as Season 1, except that I enjoyed Season 2 more because of the themes in it. Season 1 had some scenes where it made me really fall in love, because I started this anime thinking, oh, it's gonna be another idol anime or something like that. But no, it's an anime that talks negatively about idol culture, and I've never seen that before. So it immediately caught my eye, and pretty late into Season 1 is when I realized, oh my god, it's an actual anime that I like, that I love. So Season 2 continued on that and took that and made it even better. Now, I can't wait for Season 3, or whatever comes next. I believe they already announced a continuation, which would be a Season 3. Yes, not a movie, another season. I hope it's gonna be good. I've seen many different opinions about the manga that apparently already finished, but nevertheless, I will be watching season 3 because the story has captured me and is one of the main reasons why I love this anime. Music-wise, I don't think there's much to talk about it because they had some viral songs like the ED and the opening. Season 2, though, I think it was season 2. Yes, Burning. Ooh, can't play that on YouTube. Really, really love the song. Especially in season 1 as well, in episode 1, there's a very good song as well that kind of made the introduction to the scene, if you've seen the spoiler. Now, season 2, overall, I think it was great. Was it amazingly great? It was a 10 out of 10, but I think it would not belong in the top of this list. I believe it was a since it's not an anime that is truly what interests me overall, as I said, acting or uh, singing, idols. I think it should probably go in a lower tier because I think the overall experience is what I enjoy in this series. So since I enjoyed season 1 and season 2, I don't think I'm gonna not enjoy season 3, but I don't think this deserves to be in a high spot because compared to the other ones in S, I liked 100% of it, while this one here I just enjoyed the journey through it. So I'm gonna put this in C because I think it deserves to be in a lower tier out of my 10s. Now, here's a little bit of a weird anime in my entry, and I've probably said that already 10 times. Makane, Too Many Losing Heroines. Makane? It's an anime, and I think one of the few on this list which I remember the least about. It's one of those animes where you watch it, you absolutely love it, and then you finish it and you move on to the 20 next anime. And thinking back about it, I have a hard time thinking of details in it. I would almost need a refresher, especially in my case, since I'm very bad with remembering things, and my memory is really, really bad. I have a short-term memory. Makane is an anime about a boy whose name is Kazuhiko. He is kind of a loner in his class. He tries to avoid any person he can, from what I remember, and he stumbles upon his classmate who is getting rejected in a cafe. Now, he didn't mean to get into her business, but since they made eye contact as it happened, or I think after it happened, she joins him at her table, at his table. Now, the thing is, from then on, it starts to roll and snowball into him meeting more and more losing heroines. That means stumbling into anime cliches such as breakups, rejections, jealousy situations. He gets into any sort of those things with a lot of different girls. As you can see here, the main girl being the one in the middle, her name is Anna, and the rest I don't remember. Chica and Lemon, of course. How can I forget Lemon? You can't see Lemon because of my face. Here we go. She and the other ones all have their own stories, and it... Would I classify this as a harem? No. It is definitely a love triangle though. But the reason why I like this anime is because I usually really, really don't like love triangles, or even worse, harems. I cannot deal with those. I don't remember how many in my list are above an 8, or even let alone above a 7. Every single one of them is so cliche and so stereotypically annoying that I cannot stand them. This anime somehow being a love triangle anime, I cannot figure out why I ended up cheering for every single girl. I kind of wanted them all to win, not gonna lie. I mean, they're all great characters. They are so different from one another. One is an introvert, like super mega introvert. Another one is a super mega extrovert. And then you have the blue-haired girl, which is right in the middle. She is a weirdo. They're all great. Now, I don't know what I'm expecting from a sequel to this anime, considering there's a season 2 that has been announced. I don't think there's any release date yet. Nope. But I don't think it's gonna be too long. Probably next year. As I said, I've only seen this anime once, and it was in October last year, so over a year ago. This must be one of the top anime in need of a rewatch, because I only remember it being amazing, but I don't remember how amazing. Apparently a 10 out of 10 amazing. Just if someone tells me like, oh, you're gonna put a 10 out of 10 on a love triangle anime, I'll be like, you're probably crazy, you're making things up. But no, apparently it happened, and I know it wasn't a fluke, because from what I remember of it, it was great. I mean, the animation is stunning, the writing is amazing, apparently not amazing enough for me to remember, but the music, I don't really remember much. The way I do with anime is, once I finish an anime, I put a rating on them, they go on my AniList, and I usually go from the oldest anime that I've watched or completed until the newest one, and listen to all the OST on YouTube, and then I put those in the playlist. If an anime has music that I remember that really touches me, or something that is very memorable, I immediately check it out, and of course I put it in my playlist. But in this case, I assume this anime probably didn't have anything too special. I believe the music director was someone who I don't really know. Kana, yeah, there's several ones. Music director Kuki, and Kana for the music. I assume it was probably the opening or the ED. No, just the music. But no one that I really know. I will be going through it at some point. That's not an issue. The issue is that I really do need to rewatch it. All I remember is that Chika was really adorable, Lemon was really adorable, Anna was really adorable. They all are great, and I think that season 2 will probably be another one of those situations where I will absolutely love the anime, and probably rate it high if it's this quality. I just need to remember it better. Now, what does this mean to the list? I think, due to those reasons, I am unwilling to put this in a high tier. Putting this in a D or C doesn't necessarily mean that it's worse than any of those above. I just really need to rewatch it. The only closest example on this list would probably be this one here, A Little Bit of Harmony, which I only watched once, and I think also deserves a rewatch, because all the other ones on this list, except maybe the Sailor one, is also only I've only seen it once as well. The rest I've at least watched once or twice to know if I love it or really love it. And in this case, I would probably end up putting Makane into D, not because it's worse, but as an exception for not remembering much about it. I could of course watch a recap or anything like that, but I think that would ruin a rewatch. I much rather rewatch all 12 episodes. I think it was 12, or was it 2 core? No, 12 episodes, yeah. That at least I remember. I would much rather watch all 12 episodes than just watch a quick recap on YouTube. So for those reasons, I'll put it on D. Maybe I do an update video someday in the future where I move around my 10s if I've rewatched some of them, because believe it or not, half the time of the year is me spending time rewatching anime. As I said, I've rewatched Silent Voice 38 times, and Violet Evergarden God knows how many times. I will be rewatching anime, and Makane will not be an exception to it. I will rewatch it. When? I don't know exactly. Probably during my trip to Japan this year or sometime after that. But for now, it's gonna stay at D. You know, there's a lot of things on my list that I need to rewatch. I even made a separate list for it, here at the bottom. Needs a rewatch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put McCain into here so that I don't forget it, and I will definitely be rewatching. Not rewatching here. Needs a rewatch. There you go. Done. God, I still can't believe I rated The Familiar of Zero 7. It's the type of anime that myself today, would absolutely hate. I can't wait to rewatch it. It's mostly just older anime, except for Beyond the Boundary, which will be an interesting talk later on, because it's also one of my 10s. But more to that later. Familiar of Zero is one of my first anime that I've seen, especially the first series of animes that I've seen in a row, that I binged the whole thing. My very first anime was Heidi, of course. Let's get to Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary. This is an anime which I call the Shonen Breaker. You give this to any friend and you will immediately know what type of person they are. It's not your usual typical anime. It's okay. What is it about? It's if you've seen Hyoka, which is a detective kind of anime, this is made by the same author, which is made by Honobu Inozawa. He made many similar light novels, I believe, or manga, probably light novels, where it's a story about schoolboy or schoolgirl, and there's always some mystery behind it. He's a very big mystery author, and Kyoto Animation turned his work into Hyoka, which was very, very popular. A lot of people know it. And just recently, one of his other works, which I think was even older than Hyoka, was turned into an anime. Season 1, Season 2. I'm only gonna talk about Season 1. Season 2 I rated a little bit lower because I didn't enjoy it as much. Still 8.5 out of 10. Great anime. But Season 1, I rated it 10 out of 10 because I absolutely loved it. Everything about it. Looks great. What is with the black bars? So cinematic. What the hell? Absolutely stunning animation. The music fits absolutely perfect to this. The characters, such a great design. There's not much to say other than everything in this anime was perfect. The whole concept of Season 1 was, you might disagree with me here, but it was kind of like a simplified version of Hyoka, or more like a modern take of the same events, except that in this one we have the newer technology and all that. The mysteries in Shoshimin compared to Hyoka, which was a lot more high school-esque. Like, don't get me wrong, Hyoka was a perfect mystery anime. Every single mystery was something that I could play along with. It was very interactive. But it was always kept, or most of it was always kept in high school themes. Like, it was rarely something that was completely outside of the box, or at least from what I remember. I might be completely wrong here, and I would say sorry about it, but I just don't remember as much of it because it's been so long since I've seen Hyoka. I should probably rewatch it as well. I'm gonna put everything on my rewatch list at this point. And while Shoshimin also had mysteries related to their club in high school, a lot of mysteries were happening outside of school, or and even things that were so simple, so many small tiny little mysteries which took the entire episode, which is the funny thing, by the way, because a lot of people freaked out on those and hated on the anime. They shit talked it to the ground, and you could immediately see what type of person they were, because they didn't have the patience to watch it until the end, or they thought that, the anime looks cinematic, so surely it must also be full of action or anything like that. No, Shoshimin is the perfect mystery anime, in my opinion. Now, compared to Hyoka, as I said, the mysteries in Shoshimin feel a lot more simpler. They are usually related to daily activities, things that you, when you open the fridge, you see your milk carton. That's a mystery in this anime. A cookie, or I don't remember what it was, something is missing on the plate. That's a mystery. They somehow managed to turn the simplest, tiniest mysteries into a 20 plus minutes episode, which I find amazing every time it happens. And seeing people call this boring is even more entertaining, which probably had an impact on my rating. But overall, season 1 felt a lot more relaxing compared to season 2. Season 2 was more of a multi-episode arc, which felt great. It was fine. I just enjoyed the tinier little arcs, 1 or 2 episodes per mystery at most, which felt, of course, this way you had more mysteries as well in total, but it felt more, a better flow to watch the anime. It felt more comfortable to watch it compared to season 2. You had to pay attention for 12 episodes during 12 weeks because I watched it as it was releasing until I decided to pause and then wait until all episodes were out so I could binge it. Because watching an episode and having to remember for next week and then again next week, for me that's a little bit difficult because, as I said, I have really bad memory, and that's why I enjoyed season 1 more. What else is there to say? Anything about it is really great. So I mean, it was made by Studio Lapin-Trak. Never heard of it. Apparently, I've never seen anything else from it. So these 2 entries are the only entries from the studio. I believe it's Lapin, even though this is the French word for rabbit. Who knows? Great anime series. Can't wait for whatever comes next. I believe this is the ending though. I could see some OVA coming out, but considering it came out in April, I don't think there's gonna be more to this series. I feel like Shoshimin deservedly so got an ending, and I don't really mind it. So for these reasons, I believe that Shoshimin should get a A tier because everything about it was great. The reason why I don't put it on S is because I've only seen it once. I do want to rewatch it with another reactor, with another friend. The thing is, I don't really have friends that are into those slow burner anime. They're usually into high action. That's why most of these here are not really much of an action anime. Maybe the tank anime or the Nichijou. Even Nichijou I wouldn't really call an action anime, or not really action as in genre, but action filled anime, even though it has some extreme scenes. The most maybe would be, as I said, the tanks one, Frieren, and that's about it. Maybe Tengoku. Oshinoko is also slow. Yeah, these are all pretty slow. Even Licorice Recoil, who had a bunch of action scenes. All of these are very relaxing to watch, and that's, I guess, just what I like. So it's really hard for me to find a friend who are willing to watch anime like these. So I'll probably be rewatching this on my own or with another reactor. And I'm gonna keep this at A until, as I said, might change my opinion once I rewatch it. Maybe it goes to an S, maybe a little bit lower, but A it is for now. For the next one, it's another movie called Look Back. Well, it's a 1-hour movie. It's a one-shot manga that was adapted into a movie. Look Back is a special movie. It was made by a studio that I've never heard before. It was made by Studio Durian. From what I've seen, they've done very, very short OVAs or music videos, or even a 17-minute movie before Look Back being the first full-length movie that they've made. The movie is amazing. It looks absolutely stunning. The characters are so well drawn. Let me explain a bit. The movie is about a girl named Fujino, and she's tasked to draw comic strips or like manga for the 4th grader newspaper, and she is really good at drawing. She likes the attention that she gets from it. She gets praised, and But you see she's a little bit cocky whenever everyone reads the manga every week. I don't remember how often it comes out, but she takes a lot of pride in her work. And one day a teacher asks her if she's okay with leaving some space for another girl to give it a try, a girl that has not been able to leave home to go to school, but she still wants to draw and help out with the newspaper. So Fujino says yes, and the next time the new edition comes out, you instantly see both next to each other a comparison that Fujino is not as good as everyone thought, because the new girl is almost a professional in how the art looks. It looks like day and night. And Fujino takes this very personally, so she becomes super obsessed with becoming even better in art, to the point where she doesn't even hang out with her friends anymore, with her family. She doesn't go to sports. She just focuses on art and becoming better and better. But every time a new edition comes out, even though she put all her heart into her own manga, the other girl still manages to make it look better. So everyone else kind of stops really paying attention to her. And this makes her quit art. You then see a time skip, you see how her life gets better because she hangs out with her friends again, with her family, she starts watching movies with people, she goes to sports, and until one day, I think it was the graduation in this movie, correct me if I'm wrong, she has to deliver the diploma thingy, you know, the little tube that they give at the end to students, to the girl who made the other manga strip. They've never met each other, so Fujino has to go deliver the diploma to the other girl at her house. And when she gets there, they both meet for the first time. She leaves the diploma under the door, and I believe she drew like a mocking comic, like a one-page panel to the other girl because of how mad she was that the other girl was so successful. So she didn't end up giving it to her, or at least putting it under their door. They didn't even talk to each other. They just say, hey, hello, I'm just here to deliver your diploma, bye-bye. That's all she did. But she wanted to give the drawing, and she didn't do it, but I don't remember how it happened. I think it was the wind, or she let it fall. It went under the door, so instead of confronting the other girl, she started to run away. But what she didn't know is that the other girl saw the mocking comic, and instead of taking it as an insult, she got really surprised and started to run after the first girl, after Fujino. They then meet eye to eye for the first time, and the second girl, Kyomoto, she says that she's a huge fan of her because, she's seen her comic besides her own in every edition. Why did you stop drawing suddenly? And that's how they became friends. They both realized that one kind of needed the other in order to support themselves. And the whole movie is very short, but it continues from then on out, and I don't really want to tell you what happens next. The whole movie is kind of like a semi-autobiography of the author, which is Tatsuki Fujimoto. And if you check their names, Fujino and Kyomoto, if you put them both together, Fujimoto, that makes more sense. Fujimoto is also known as the creator of Chainsaw Man. A big surprise to me as well once I figured that out the first time I watched it. But yeah, no, it's dare I say, a better creation than Chainsaw Man. I haven't really compared it to the movie, the second movie yet, or well, the first Chainsaw movie, but as a standalone movie, it's amazing. I can't really say much more about it. Look Back is really a movie that deserves a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, and for those reasons I really do recommend you to watch it. It's not that long, it's 58 minutes. You don't miss out much if you don't watch it, but I would say if you enjoy Fujimoto's work, then you should probably give this one a try. It's not as wild, but truly it's still worth a try, trust me. I don't think there's much to say about the music side of it. I don't think it was that memorable. At least I don't fully remember anything special from it, except for a few scenes. But on its own, I think it's a movie that deserves a higher spot because I watched it earlier. No, sorry, last year at the end of the year, almost like a year ago actually. It really made my heart kind of hurt as I watched it. I would probably put this as an A because I really enjoyed it. Yeah. As for our next one, let's see if I make an exception for my S tier list for anime that I've only seen once. City the Animation, absolutely loved it. I loved everything about this. And I think the reasons are clear. Nichijou and City the Animation have the same author. So City the Animation and Nichijou was made by Keiichi Arawi. The source is a manga that has been releasing since 10 years now. A little bit after Nichijou. I think Nichijou was 15 years, the manga. Or maybe even before. No, it was, 20 years. I'm just so glad that Kyoto Animation adapted this. Because so many people were asking for a continuation of Nichijou. Which I'll be honest, I kind of disagree. It doesn't need a continuation. It finished the way it did perfectly. City the Animation kind of fills that void of people wanting more of the same animation style, and I think Kyoto Animation did a perfect job at portraying that with City the Animation. So what is this about? It's about 3 girls doing the same dumb shit as Nichijou. It may be not as abstract or surreal as Nichijou, because Nichijou was a lot of semi-fantasy at some point with robot girls and flying things and creatures and all that. And while City the Animation also is as surreal, I think it's a little bit more grounded. It has the same type of humor, of course, same type of comedy, my type of humor, which is another reason why I really love it. But overall, I think it's a little bit tamer than Nichijou. I'm gonna stop comparing both here, but I mean, City the Animation on its own is just the perfect comedy anime. So many lovely characters, everything in it is beautifully animated, of course, by Kyoto Animation, and I could talk about this for like 2 hours, but I'm gonna try and keep it short. You have 3 main protagonists in this anime, Midori Nagumo, Nikura, and Wako Izumi. They are so different from each other, and their voice actors, they are so good. They do such a good job. Oh my god! I fucking love City the Animation. There's so many things I want to talk about this, but I can't. I don't want to. I want you to let yourself get surprised by it. There's so many good characters, so many settings, and the songs, the music. Oh, the music. I just went through the whole playlist recently and I almost added every single song to my playlist. I fucking love this anime so much, but the problem is I've only seen it once because there's no reactions on YouTube. Why? I just love this anime. But I can't give it an S, can I? I mean, I've seen it once. I don't know, that's normal for most people. Not for me. If I put something in my 10s, I have to rewatch it, with some exceptions. But, no, I don't think I have a choice. I mean, where do I even start? I mean, I've talked about most that I can. I can't talk to you about the content because there's so much content. It's structured in the same way as Nichijou. It has so many short chapters in the manga, and it was adapted the same way. Of course, they added onto it, but they also removed some stuff, and they kept it short. It's like tiny bits. It's a little bit more. It has a better flow than Nichijou, I would say. At least the first half of Nichijou, where, as I said, it's mostly a rapid-fire comedy, and the latter half is more of a story. This one here is a little bit of a both. It has a lot of gag scenes, which are either short or a little longer, but the ones that are connected to each other, it feels more pleasant, I'd say. It's more pleasant to watch. You ever watch an anime or a movie or finish a video game, and then the credits roll, and then you have to clap because of how peak it was? This is how I felt when watching this. A lot of movies and anime in this list, I've done that. I do that at the end of something that I love. And City the Animation, I fucking loved. And you bet I did a stand-up ovation alone. uh, just don't take my word for it. Go watch it yourself. If you haven't finished yet, or if you haven't even started yet, consider it, please. You like it, maybe not, maybe you do, but I absolutely fucking loved it. And I don't think I have a choice, but I have to put this as an S. I probably... I mean, once I finished this anime, I seriously contemplated or thought about putting this as my new all-time favorite anime, considering I was always telling everyone, oh, it's Nichijou, oh, it's Nichijou, and this is the spiritual successor of it. But I don't think I can make it this time, or officially, because, as I said, I do want to rewatch it. I'm saving up my second enjoyment of it with someone else, or at least someone online that I can rewatch it with. But I'm gonna leave it as an S. And if it comes to it, I'm probably not gonna pick this as the winner, because I don't think I can do it to myself, having rewatched everything else 1,000 times and what's supposedly my new favorite just once. It's also too recent. I think I watched it. When did I watch this? Yeah, it was this summer. It's not even that long ago. I should really rewatch it, man. Okay, leaving this there. I probably forgot 35,000 things that I want to talk about it. I might add this at the end of the video once I'm editing it, or putting it as I talked about it. But let's move on to the next giant. A movie that everyone knows, or everyone should know, if you know a little bit about anime. The first big anime movie that came out after the barrage of Ghibli Studio. Your Name. But Steve, there's been so many good movies since the Ghibli movies. What are you talking about? Go to your parents, go to any friend who isn't an anime fan and ask them if they know what the Gatari movies are, if they know what the Chainsaw Man is, or what the Violet Evergarden movie is. No, it's always Ghibli this, Ghibli that. And then Your Name came out and everyone knew about this somehow. Not saying it's not deserving of it, it's an amazing movie. It's just weird to me how a movie from someone who has made smaller movies in the past suddenly managed to break the barrier of anime fandom, and now somehow everyone that I know also knows Your Name. Not like I recommended it to everyone back when it came out or anything. This movie gets compared a lot with other big movies. For example, A Silent Voice. Both came out around the same time in 2016, but they are so different from one another that I don't really understand why people do the whole Xbox versus PlayStation debate with these two movies. I've seen people say, oh no, this movie is way better than that, or this movie is way better than this, and while I agree that it's all subjective which one you prefer, there's nothing really that you can compare both, because Your Name has some fantasy topics in it, while A Silent Voice is a pure slice of life. They have no correlation with the plot or characters in them. Your Name, for example, is a movie about how two students from different places, one is in the middle of Tokyo and one is in the rural area, how they swap bodies while they sleep or dream. Every time they sleep, they swap bodies for the next day. And the whole movie goes on with that theme until it progresses the story of both characters. I will be talking about the main plot of this movie, which is a minor spoiler, but feel free to skip at this timestamp. How they try to meet up, how there's a comet that is about to hit the Earth and destroy an entire village, if they manage to warn each other, because they never talk to one another. It's always through notes or through on the phone, messages, or on paper. It's always hard to communicate with one another. So how are they gonna solve this problem of saving each other's life, or at least one of their lives, by warning them beforehand it happens? The whole movie is really, really interesting to watch, and as it came out, it was definitely one of my favorite movies, because I haven't seen that many movies back then as well. it still is a 10 out of 10 of me, even though I watched it a shit ton of times. I watched it 12 times so far because I kept rewatching it with other reactions. But one thing I noticed in comparison to Silent Voice, if we're already doing that, that is that Your Name, the more I watched it, maybe I shouldn't say the less impressive it was, because to be honest, it's still a 10 out of 10. I haven't lowered the score yet, but it felt less impactful because of how surprising it is the first time you watch it. I'd say if you were to just watch both movies once, A Silent Voice and this movie, most people will probably enjoy Your Name a lot more than A Silent Voice. But A Silent Voice feels more like a story that you can rewatch because it sometimes people relate to the story. While in this movie here, it's one in a lifetime life story that no one can really relate to. You can't say, oh yeah, I've been swapping bodies with someone for the past 2 months every time I sleep. No, you won't hear anyone say that. Your Name itself is an amazing movie. It looks great, and that's most probably what, let's say, carried it for me, because the movie, as I said, top-notch visuals. The studio who made it is by Comics Wave, and the director is Makoto Shinkai. He's made many movies with a similar art style, and it's really, really beautiful. Especially since his two last movies, which are, well, so far he's made like three main big movies, which is Your Name, Weathering with You, and Suzume. And Suzume and Weathering with You, I think I rated them a little bit lower. Yeah, Suzume was 8.5, and I think Weathering with You was a 9. Yeah, a 9 out of 10. Great movies. They look absolutely stunning. Uh, I guess I've seen people compare it to how Disney movies always, no matter what topic or what it's about, they always do well because of how their previous experience or their image is so good that people know, oh, it's a new Disney movie, it's gonna be great. So I assume the same thing happened with Your Name. It was so popular that all of his next movies are gonna be well received. Maybe not as well as Your Name, but the records Your Name broke is actually insane. The movie used to be the highest grossing film in Japan. As you can see here, it is now currently number 3, above Spirited Away, which is insane to me considering how spread across the world Ghibli's movies are. So the fact alone that it managed to top this movie and stay on it for so long until Demon Slayer the movie came out, for 4 years, it's actually a huge achievement. But I'm nonetheless actually surprised how well people like it, because you'd think that a story about a girl and a boy who swap bodies wouldn't really do well. But no, it's surprisingly well received, and I'm kind of glad. But I can totally understand why people say that rewatching it over and over kind of loses on its worth or its impact to you. I've heard it several times already now, that some people who say that Your Name was such a beautiful, perfect movie, and then they rewatched it for like 2-3 times, and they said, oh yeah, okay, it's actually a good movie, just not the best ever. Which I agree, it's definitely not the best movie ever made. But if it is your favorite movie, then even better for you. That's nothing to take away from you. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve to be called the perfect movie for someone. It's just that there are a lot of movies that are kind of hidden from, as I said, the barrier of the anime fandom. If you're only looking inside the anime fandom, then you will see that this movie, for example, is not really rated the highest in any of the lists of any the anime services. Not just this website, AniList, but on my anime list, on so many others, it's not at the very top. It's not even maybe sometimes in the top 10. But the reason for that is mostly because people tend to watch a lot of other movies, which kind of influence their way of rating. But if you look outside of the anime fandom, then yeah, a lot of people will say that this is probably their favorite anime movie, because they haven't seen that many other ones. At the end of the day, as I said, the director also made a lot of other movies, usually short stories, from what I remember. If I check here all the movies that I've seen from him, I believe there's a few that I've seen. Yeah, for example, The Garden of Words. I have the manga here. It's only a movie that goes 46 minutes. Or, for example, his other movie that we saw here, one of his first ones, 5 centimeters per second. It's 3 episodes. Well, I watched... It's like one episode with all 22 minutes, so it makes around an hour. As I said, he started slow, but then he made suddenly this impact with Your Name, and deservedly so gained a lot of popularity. So what is my true opinion of Your Name? It's kind of complicated. I've seen it ages ago, around when it came out, I think it was. No, not even, 2020. During COVID, I absolutely loved it. I mean, it is one of the great movies. I'm not saying it is not. I just rewatched it so many times that I wouldn't really be surprised if I had left this at a, let's say, 9 out of 10. The reason why I didn't do so yet is because I still enjoy watching people's reaction to it. The whole plot also is kind of unique, even though it's already been made before. But the way it's animated, the music of it, the music is also really great. The what was it called? I think it was the Wimpacks, the Radwimps. The Radwimps have been doing music for his movies, I think. Yeah, for all of his 3 big movies. Their music is great. It really fits the vibe, and there's nothing bad to say about it. I even have some songs in my playlist from them. Overall, wonderful movie, and I think I'm gonna put it a little bit lower than people expect it to be. I know a lot of people love this, but I think it's gonna deserve a C spot. Girls Last Tour. I really love this anime. I love the manga even more, but that's besides the point. Amazing post-apocalyptic anime, if that's what you can call it. It's a story about 2 girls and their Kettenkraad. It's here. That's how it looks. Kettenkraad, which is like a mix of a motorcycle and a tank, which is apparently a real thing in real life. I haven't really painted this. My first garage model kit, by the way. Never buying one again, because Jesus Christ, that takes way too much time to build. But yeah, you see it here on the top. The Kettenkraad, which is their way of traveling around the abandoned world. They kinda re-experience the forgotten past of their world. It's a civilization that is completely abandoned. It feels like everyone's dead. They're the only ones alive. But they do meet some people along their way every now and then. And every episode has its own story. The anime, man, the manga itself, amazing art. I'm so glad that the anime kind of adapted this in a really good way. I forgot who actually animated this. White Fox. Have I seen something else from them? I have. Really? Really? Steins Gate? Okay. And ReZero? Okay, that's kind of surprising. But it's a studio that I haven't really heard much of, but apparently I've seen their stuff. But yeah, the anime is pretty short, 12 episodes. It's a mix between wholesome, cute girls doing cute things, and it has a dark, well, not really dark, but kind of dystopian, sad touch to it. The whole time, you feel like you are watching what's left of humanity, which isn't really far from the truth, considering how they are far from being in a living civilization. The manga that I have the whole volume. It's made by Tsukumizu. He or she made a lot of different things, but is known for especially Girls Last Tour. I think Tsukumizu is one of my favorite background artists, because the whole manga has this sketchy background style. It has a lot of double-paged art. As you can see, well, you can barely see, but it has this nice, detailed, at the same time, low-quality background art. And the whole thing is this way. The characters also drawn really cutely, but yeah, the whole anime is really well animated considering the art style, and the studio itself did a really good job at translating the manga into an anime. Even though the anime looks kind of more smooth, more round, the characters are more bubbly, in my opinion. But what are you gonna do? You can't really adapt one-to-one what the manga is. They did a fantastic job at it. That's kind of what I mean. The two girls during their journey, they kind of re-explore forgotten languages, like they can't really read Japanese or English or anything. They touch on topics like aviation or food production or photography and many other things in this world, which kind of shows how far humanity has gone, considering the story takes place 1,000, or I think it was 1,300 years into the future. So they are in the year 3,200 something, and it just shows that humans have kept their traditions, like flying planes or the way they produce food, or as I said, photography, keeping memories fresh like that. It's a wonderful way to rediscover what makes us human, and I think this anime is the best way to experience that. Now, I've seen some people complain that it's a little bit slow. I don't really agree with that, because it's kind of like a slice of life. I mean, there's nothing too actiony in it. It's more of an explorative anime, and it's a perfect anime to do that. Now, if you're looking for a conclusion to the story at the end, I believe that the manga goes further. I've read it recently, well, like a year or so ago, and out of 6 volumes, the anime takes place in the first 4 volumes. And 2 last volumes are kind of like a continuation of the anime. I wish it was animated, but I understand that they can't really do 12 episodes for just 2 volumes if they used 4 already for the first season. So it is what it is. I'm kind of happy with what we got. Otherwise, the aesthetics, just really pleasing to watch. The music, absolutely great. Again, another anime which has a bunch of songs in my playlist. And the director, I don't really know much about him. Takaku Ozaki. I think I've heard his name before. Surely he's done also the ReZero, and maybe that's where I know him from Steins Gate. Or not. He's done the sequels, or whatever comes after the first, but seems like he didn't really... Oh, he worked on One Punch Man. Okay, he's a key animator. Interesting. Yeah. And Sound of the Sky. Another good anime, but we're not talking about that today. I think Girls Last Tour is really easily explained what it is, and I just did that. If you want to know more, I would just go in blindly, which is always the best way to experience anime. But yeah, you can always just read the synopsis if you want. I usually avoid it when I get into a new anime. When I find something new and that looks interesting, that's the first thing that comes to mind, that makes the decision if I should watch it or not, then I usually just ignore anything I can. For example, Chainsaw Man, the movie, I just knew that there was a movie. Before I heard anyone say if it's good or bad, I just wanted to see the sequel, and I went to watch it blindly. That's just one example, but I do that with every single anime and every single movie that I do recently. I used to read a lot before, but I think that kind of takes away sometimes when it's an anime that with a twist, like so you get surprised directly as you're watching. But in this anime, I think everything was really perfect. There's not much to say about it. If I were to compare it to another anime that people have seen, I would say it is closest to Made in Abyss, because it's also an anime where you go on a journey with the main character and you rediscover the way people used to live, because you enter into an unknown place with ancient technology or things that show how people used to live or survive their day. Now, of course, one and the other has nothing to do with, like, nothing at all story-wise and plot-wise, but just the fact that you can learn new things about even things that you already know. As I said, aviation, I know nothing about planes, and this anime kind of taught me just the smallest things from experiencing it at the same time as the both protagonists is really great. So Girls Last Tour, I really liked it. I think I could possibly put it as an A or B. I don't think it deserves an S. I did rewatch it not long ago. Yeah, I rewatched it 3 times. There's a few episodes in it that I liked more than others, especially that one episode, which absolutely perfect, with the music especially. They used a classical song for like a short montage scene. There's some things in it that I wish would be a little bit different, or they would show more. It always felt like I was left with wanting more and more, and they just delivered what they could, of course. It wasn't any bad at all, so I would still probably put it as a B, I'd say. That would fit it the most to me. Okay, remember what I said about McCain and Licorice Recoil, how they are at the top of my rewatch list? Well, we have this movie, Beyond the Boundary. I'll Be Here. See, I don't even remember the title. I've seen this ages ago. I was 2020. I rewatched it once, and I think it was on the same year, even the same month. I've not seen it since. It's been almost 6 years since I've rated this at 10, and I kind of wonder where it goes now, because I'll be honest, I do not remember a single thing about it, other than me absolutely loving the main protagonist. I think even today, she's probably my absolute favorite character, design-wise, and her voice actress is also amazing at her job. She is very unique, and it's definitely not me being really into girls with glasses or anything, which is very ironic considering the male protagonist is a real weirdo about girls with glasses. And I think maybe that's why I thought it was really funny, because not knowing that, I saw her face in the first anime, which I think was probably the reason why I started watching it. Although I did make a KyoAni marathon ages ago, right before COVID happened, and I ended up on this anime and watched it. But I remember seeing this character, like fan art of her, ages ago. People were cosplaying her or making drawings and anything of her, and it kind of stuck with me, and I really, really love the character design. And it's, funnily enough, as I said, the dude here on the right is, I even don't remember his name. Akihito. Oh yeah, now I remember. Akihito. Hentai. Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of hard to talk about this anime. I really should rewatch this and maybe redo this scene, but I would have to rewatch the whole thing, so the anime and the movie, because I know there's a recap movie with extra scenes in it, and I think there is another thing. Probably not though. Prequel. Yeah, no, that's the only thing. So it's this one, a recap movie, and the main movie. Oh, and there's this OVA. Okay, that's the one. The OVA I remember is really good. 8 out of 10. Amazing OVA. I do actually remember some scenes of it, and the manga as well. The first anime, but surprisingly not the movie. I have an idea of what it could be about, because I remember there being a plot twist and the whole. I don't remember if it was an arc in the anime or if it was in the movie. I believe it was in the movie, but if I'm not wrong, then the movie is about the main protagonist losing her memories. That's about it. I know that there's a lot of weird shit going on in this world. If I may talk a little bit of the anime and take inspiration of that, the anime is about the pink-haired girl with glasses who, let's just call her Mirai. That's easier. It's about Mirai who can control her blood. Imagine, you know that scene in Frieren, the vampire who can just turn his blood into like a sword or something? Similarly to that. Kyoane did it first. But jokes aside, the girl is has gotten a contract to kill the boy, except that he, for whatever reason, I don't remember why, he's immortal. So they kind of become friends because of that. Like, she tries to kill him, he doesn't die, he can't die, and the whole first episode of the anime, I think, it was that, of her trying to get rid of him, and he just kept not dying, and it was kind of painful for her, like, please die, don't make me do this. The world is filled with, let's say, invisible monsters, at least to the normal humans, and they have to chase those the monsters and kill them before they cause any harm to the humans. So it's basically a cat and mouse game, and the ones killing the monsters can see them. I don't really remember why. I believe there's a reason, like they have powers or anything like that. Like, for example, the Mirai has her blood powers and all, and him, I believe he was born differently from everyone, but I might be wrong. And he can also see those monsters. Like, in fact, all of these four here. And there's more hunters as well. I don't really remember about the movie, what made it so special. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I know a lot of people absolutely hate the manga, the anime. Thinking back at it, about it, yes, it's not the perfect anime. It feels like a burger without the meat, as some people say. For what matters in it, I think, to me, it looked great. It had some decent music. I know that some music is still in my playlist, so I must have liked it back then. The voice acting as well. The left character at the very top here, her name is Mitsuki Naze. I remember her being one of my favorite voices back then. She has a very unique, how can I say? It's like a very girly, cutesy voice, but not over the top, not the stereotypical kawaii kind of voice, but it has this weird way of pronouncing words, and for some reason I really like that. And the worker Minori Chihara also worked on other things, but that's not really the point. The thing is that the movie happens right after the anime. That's what I kind of remember. Other than that, if it's really about the plot that I'm thinking about, where she loses her memories, and the whole movie is about them trying to figure out how she can gain them back, then yeah. But other than that, I really have to rewatch it. I cannot really rate it fairly, so I'm gonna do what I did with all the other ones and put it at D, not because it's bad. Same thing with McCain. I think, I don't remember if I said that Licorice Recall was the same reason, but definitely McCain, Beyond the Boundary. These two are definitely only in the because I just need a rewatch. That's about it. There's no reason for me to say that it's worse than any of the top ones here. I just need to rewatch it, that's all. Actually, for the sake of understanding this better, I'm gonna make a new row. I'm gonna add a row here that says rewatching. No, to rewatch. There you go. That's, I think, much fairer. A lot fairer to all the entries. So I'm gonna put this, I don't know, like bluish. Maybe this one here. And I'm gonna put this one and this one. And I know these three also need to be down there, but I believe, yeah, you know what? I'll put this here. I should be more fair this way, yeah. Tamako Love Story. Now, this one is an interesting one. Tamako Love Story is a continuation of Tamako Market, which is an anime by Kyoto Animation. They made this in 2013, it's 12 episodes long, and it's about a girl who lives with a family of mochi makers. You know, the Yosho, that kind of thing. And they sell those in a market, which is like you can see behind her here, it's like a street market. It's a known, actually a known building in Japan. It really exists, and every shop there is a family that knows each other. So it's like a whole friendly neighborhood type of anime. And Tamako in the anime is kind of like the aloof, bubbly, careless character in the anime. She has no care at all in the world. Something really bad could happen and she'd be smiling. She is very disconnected to reality, I'd say, almost, sometimes. And I don't mean that in a malicious way. She is one of the friendliest characters I've ever seen, and she doesn't really mean it in a bad way, like, not in a malicious way. That's just the way she is. She doesn't take anything serious. And depending on the situation she's in, she just is that type of aloof girl. Her friends adapt to her and she adapts to them. So the whole anime is just a wholesome, feel-good type of anime. There's no drama, maybe like a little arc in it, but even then. There's also a boy who is childhood friends with her, and they've known each other since they started to live in this market, since little children. But the boy is the son of the rivalry family of hers. So they both families sell mochi, and they kinda, or at least their dads, are kinda fighting with each other. But he's still friends with her, and during the whole anime, her job is to come up with new mochi to sell, new ideas, or she spends time at her baton club in school. And there's a Halloween episode, there's a festival episode. The whole anime is just pure joy. Now, what I wish was a little bit different in the anime, which is also the reason why I rated it a 9 out of 10, is, and a lot of people will agree with me here because I keep hearing the same thing, is this character here. A bird, and to be exact, a talking bird, and not the type of the parakeet kind of bird who mimics human language. No, this bird is fluent in Japanese. This bird is the comic relief of the anime, and I believe it doesn't really fit in the anime. I personally don't really mind him as much as other people. I've seen people absolutely hate the anime because of this bird, and some others just don't really care. But considering how the whole anime is a slice of life and pretty realistic depiction of a real life family market situation, this bird feels too fantasy to fit in this anime. Especially how it moves, how it interacts with other characters, which is why I kind of wish it wasn't there. But what are we gonna do? Now, in comparison, Love Story, the movie, is a lot more serious than the anime. It's still a wholesome movie, but the whole point of this movie, as the title says, it's a love story between the boy and Tamako. Now, the boy, Mochizo, funny name as well, he kinda confesses to her pretty early on in the movie. The whole anime, you can see that he has feelings towards her, but never dares to say anything. But in the movie, he got pressured into confessing to her because he is going to move out to a big city. I don't remember if it was Tokyo, most probably Tokyo, to go to a school. And that means they wouldn't be able to meet anymore. So Tamako, who is very clumsy and careless, when approached by a serious situation, she doesn't know how to handle it. She doesn't know how to react to it. She gets flustered, she loses her mind, and like her world just flipped upside down when she heard the boy who she was friends with her whole life just suddenly confess to her. She didn't realize any of his signs so far in the anime, and because even jokes go over her head sometimes. So that's how disconnected she is to some people. And in this whole movie, we follow Tamako, how she copes with this, and by the end of the movie, she kind of fights with the urge to giving him a response, but doesn't dare to, and he doesn't know what to do because he already confessed, so what else can he do? And this is the whole drama of the movie. For me, it has a very nice conclusion. It's the perfect ending to Tamako. It just couldn't have ended any better, and that's why this movie is one of my favorite romance movie / anime. I think if you're watching the Blu-ray version of the movie, there's also an OVA at the very beginning of the movie, which is only 5 minutes, but it doesn't add anything to the story. It's just like a little bit of a peek of what happens with the bird, since in the anime he goes away. He doesn't stay in the market where they found him. But overall, absolutely great voice actors. The characters are very memorable. You have Midori and Kana. Kana, best girl, absolutely. She loves to build craft with woods and hammers and nails, and she's the crafty type of girl, and she's kind of like Tamako, very careless, but has a very monotone way of communicating with people. Not in a Kudere version, but she's just very direct and still friendly. She's great. And then you have Midori, which has it's not on the nose, but she also has a little bit of feelings towards Tamako. It's never really mentioned if it's romantic feelings or just platonic, but you can see that she kind of gets bothered to see that the guy, Mochizo, once he reveals that he has feelings for Tamako, that she kind of finds him annoying. But overall, it's really not that much of a problem in the anime. Now, there's also other side characters like Tamako's sister, great voice actress as well. I think she's also kind of famous, I believe. She's done some big roles, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Yeah, no, it's not her. But great voice actress. And you have Shiori, glasses girl, obligatory glasses girl in KyoAni. Great side character. You have more. You have the whole market people, all the families. You have the chill dude who sells vinyls. You have the father of one family who fights with others. You have the daughter. You have the florist. So many different people, and every one of them gets some screen time, which I absolutely love it. And you have also the outsider visitor to the market, who is, I wouldn't really call her the owner of the bird, but the bird kind of belongs to her in a way where he follows her orders. There's so many different characters. They all look different. They all talk in a realistic way. The whole anime is absolutely fabulous, and the movie is even greater to me. I initially rated Tamako Market, the anime, lower than the movie, just to show how much more I enjoyed the movie than the anime. But I, after people complained about it, I rewatched Tamako and said, okay, yeah, no, Tamako Market is great, it's amazing, but I still prefer the movies. How am I gonna show my love towards the movie if both are at a 10, even though I prefer the movie? So that's why I upped Tamako Market from an 8 to a 9, and the movie remained to a 10. What else is there to say? There's a lot of music of it that is in my playlist. There's the typical... It's a very nostalgic type of music. You have the market, you know, the guy who plays the tone with this wooden box and the pipes, where he turns the wheel on the side, and it does this typical carnival type of music. And there's man, so many things about this movie are great. Even the anime itself, where the father of Tamako, for example, her mother passed away at a young age when she was still a little kid, and the father has they show how the father met her mother, like by singing a song, and the mother kind of at first got scared of it, but then she replied with so many hidden things, and it just touches on every single topic, and that's why I absolutely love this series. And I couldn't recommend it more. I don't think there's much more to talk about it unless something comes to mind. Obviously, it's made by by Naoko Yamada. I forgot to say that. Automatically means that I'm gonna like it. She directed the movie. I'm not really sure if she also directed Tamako Market. It's peak. I think Tamako Love Story deserves none less than a high spot. I would even think about putting it in S. That's how much I like it. If I look at the other entries down here, the last few entries here are gonna be tough to rank because a lot of them are really, really good. And I think Tamako, the movie, Love Story, deserves to be in S for that reason. It's one of the movies I rewatch with friends, even though you should watch the anime first. For those who like some slow-paced, wholesome, happy anime or movies, please go watch it. It's technically okay to watch it without the anime, but please don't do that. If you're gonna watch it, just do a quick watch of the anime. It's just 12 episodes. You won't regret it. It's absolutely amazing. So, we have 5 entries left, and 4 out of those are from Hibike Euphonium. Or at least related to it. This is gonna be a little hard. I guess it's gonna be a compacted review of those 5, or at least 4 of them. I'll try my best to explain them separately. So we have Season 2, the first movie, then the second movie, and Season 3. I would say they are all different, so I'm gonna start with Season 2, and let's pick Season 2 from here as well. Season 2, what is different from Season 1? Why did I rate Season 1 an A, and Season 2, why did I say Season 2 was better? Or I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. It's better, okay? Season 2 is amazing. It's great. It's absolutely one of my favorite anime. Even before doing this tier list, I knew that Season 2, it has a special place in my heart. Now, how does it compare to the other, spoiler alert, to the other S? It's gonna go on S. I'm already saying this now. But what makes it so special? So, Season 2 is the continuation of Season 1, obviously. But Season 2 feels a lot more modern. No, not modern, but more well fleshed out, I'd say. It has more drama, more characters, better characters. Well, not technically more characters since it's the same year, so you see everyone like you did in Season 1. But more people get screen time that you haven't seen before. What else? Music. Some of my all-time favorite anime music comes from this season. As you know, the story is about Kumiko, who has the euphonium here, this instrument here, and this girl with the glasses, she has her own song. I don't remember in the anime if it was her father or someone who taught it to her, probably because her father is a famous euphonium player. The glasses girl then taught to Kumiko, which is a song that is specifically made for the euphonium. The main player, the main instrument of the music, while it's an orchestra, you'll hear that the main player is the euphonium. The song is also so good that it made it into an ED. So the whole anime has its own ED, of course, but one of the episodes, I think it was episode 6? Yeah, it doesn't really say, except you can see here between 8 and 9, something's missing. I don't believe it was there, because on YouTube you can find the actual scene, which I mean, and I think it's the last episode where the whole euphonium song actually plays. It's a wonderful song, and it's one of my favorite songs of all the anime. It's really surprising because I didn't really know what a euphonium was before I even started this anime. Overall, so many good songs, so many good scenes where they show the ensemble actually doing an orchestral play in front of the public, which is also part of the plot because they are training to go to nationals. There's auditions that they have to go through, there's side festivals that they have to train. It's a very stressful time for every single member of this club, and people try to quit, there's people who want to stay, there's drama, there's love stories in this anime in just 13 episodes. There's so much in it that it's insane how this is not a two core anime. So 26 episodes. Yeah, if I had to choose one anime to recommend to someone, no matter their taste, it would probably be the whole of Hibike Euphonium. It's just so good. That's how good it is. I can always recommend people to watch a movie like A Silent Voice or the Violet Evergarden movie or whatever, but there's nothing like Hibike Euphonium. As you saw in the beginning of the video when I talked about Season 1, there's just so many characters in it, and I feel like, if I find the picture again here, there's just so many characters that you are familiar with, and spending 2 entire seasons with the same characters, you get to learn them better, you get to know them better. It feels like a family, and after Season 2 ends, all the ribbons here in, what was it, I think the green ones are the ones who graduate, because the glasses girl is the green, yes. They're all those with green are third years, the blue ribbons are second years, and the red ones are first years. And once the third years, the green ribbons graduate, the new wave of students arrive, and they all have the green one, which makes them the first years. So everyone gets to keep their color after each year. And it's so sad to see them go, because there's so many great, amazing characters in the third years, which you will see less of in the next movie or season, or just in the high school year. But that's what makes this anime so moving, because you get attached to so many characters. You get to automatically pick your favorite, and you know it's not gonna last forever. It's a whole journey. And as I showed before, by the end of the anime, it almost doubles the members of the club. You get so many new characters that are so lovely, and even then, in Season 2, I feel like this cast here was so impactful to the anime. Every single one felt different. There was no copy-paste in it. Sure, there's a few students that don't ever talk, or you only see their faces every now and then, but every single one has their own instrument. You get, in the whole anime, you get those scenes, which are called eye catchers, where they put the ads when they air it on TV. You have every single member. I wish I had a better quality image, but I just took this from the Wikipedia. You have all the members and which instruments they play, and they show a preview of how the instruments sound, in case you don't know what a flute sounds like for some reason, or a tenor saxophone. And it's really great to learn about instruments. I learned so much from Hibike that even hearing a song right now, I could tell, oh, this sounds like an oboe. Oh, this is definitely a trombone. You can immediately learn a lot from this anime, and I find it amazing how they implemented all characters into this anime so that it doesn't feel like half of them are irrelevant, even though it does feel sometimes that you don't hear them talk that much, or you don't see them much. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're just filler characters. Lots of love put into this anime. The director, I forgot, it's Tatsuya, the same director as Season 1, and I think also for the whole rest, except Liz and the Bluebird is an exception, which is from Naoko Yamada. But the first movie was also him, and the ensemble contest, which we talked about, was also him. And I think Season 3 was also him. Yeah, so every season, except for the Liz and the Bluebird movie, he directed it, and I can't thank him enough for making it, because I absolutely love it. Just looking at the Wikipedia, you see so many graphs of all the members. I know I keep talking about it, but as I said, 64 members. You can see which instruments they play, which year they're from, or you have this graph here, which shows the first 3 lines, which the green, blue, and red, which are from Season 1 and 2, and then in the movie, the green ones graduate. Well, at the end of Season 2, they graduate, and then you get the new green ones, and as you can see, there's a lot more. And then in the Season 3, you have the first wave of blues that go away, because they're the new year 3, and then you get new blue members. It's insane how many graphs there are and how many portrayals are from each character, and they all look the same. It's not different in every season. Suddenly, like, oh, they won't notice it if we change this character. You actually have communities online of specific characters that are super fans of them, which is insane. And you have, of course, in the movie, when they make these eye catchers of every single character, it's insane. And then you have, of course, the conductor, which is Taki, really good teacher, very strict, very but fair, very fair, and he's a nice person. And I mean, I could talk about this on for hours and hours, and I would never run out of things to talk about. But I have to just show how much I love it. So I think it's already obvious, and I already said it's gonna be an S for me, and I wish there was more. I'm so sad that it ended in season 3. But we'll talk about that in a second. What else is there to say? I mean, the general consensus of this anime is that people love it. It's also one of the highest rated of all time. Well, 119, but I believe it's higher than season 1 though. 83%, 80%, at least on Analyst. There's other websites, other ratings. But yeah, no, I'm kind of prolonging this for no reason. I'm gonna put this as an S and just move on to the next one, which is Liz and the Blue Bird. Another masterpiece. Absolutely great. What the hell is this art style? What? It's so different. Naoko Yamada somehow turned an already amazing anime into an even better movie. How is that even possible? And the art style is completely different. If I have here any comparisons, this is Kumiko in the anime. This is Kumiko in the movie. As you can see, she looks completely different. The colors, the style of the movie Liz and the Blue Bird is a lot more flat. There's less depth to it. It doesn't have this shininess or the bloom effect or the. It's completely different, and I love it. You'd think that it being simpler, and I'm saying simpler with a very small s because it's not simpler, it's just different, that somehow the movie, people wouldn't like the movie. But no, it was so well received. The movie itself is all about these two characters here at the top, which are, yeah, you can see them, which are Nozomi and Mizore. One is the flute player, and the other one is from the oboe, which is this is what an oboe looks like. Very similar to a clarinet, except it's not. They both sound completely different. The movie talks about how they got into music, how they started to get into the club. It talks about the previous drama in season 2, how it started and how it ended. But mainly the movie explores about their struggle to depend on each other and the difficulty of letting go, which is all about the tale of Liz and the Blue Bird, which correlates with their relationship, because Liz and the Blue Bird is about a girl who meets a blue bird, who is in that tale another girl, and while they seem to be comfortable with one another, by keeping the bird to herself, Liz also prevents the bird to be free, to be able to fly in the sky. And this really mirrors their relationship, how Nozomi and Mizore, how they treat each other, and the difficulty of just letting go of a stifling friendship. Now, besides the story of the movie, it also has the next piece that the group is working on or practicing on, which is literally called Liz and the Blue Bird. The tale itself is just a side story of the actual song that they're practicing, and the song is an original composition. The composer is the one and only Akito Matsuda, who did all the music in all the other Hibike Euphonium seasons, and he's a master composer. I can't believe how many anime that I've seen of with his music without realizing that it's been him all along. A lot of Kyoto Animation works, also some older anime. He did a little bit of everything, but he is great, and I don't think there's any other words to describe him. The whole composition, the whole song of Liz and the Bluebird is 22 minutes long. Boggles my mind every time I see it. It's so long, and I stopped counting the amount of times I actually listened to it. I know it by heart at this rate, and it's just peak. I don't know what else to say. The movie Liz and the Bluebird is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the best movie of Naoko Yamada. She really showed what she can do with this movie. Just the first few minutes, you have, I think, like 10 first minutes, no one talks in it. Like, yeah, you have a line or two there, but the whole beginning of the movie, the introduction to the characters and all that, is just sounds. And you have the amazing Kensuke Oshio, who is also another god in music. He did the music for the Chainsaw Man movie, the Colors Within, which we just talked about, the Tengoku Daimakyu, another 10 out of 10 that I have, the anime Chainsaw Man, so many things, a silent voice, he did the silent voice, so many great things, and his music is so unique. It doesn't have a flow. Sometimes it's like more sounds than actual music, but he does. I don't know how to explain it. The more I scroll the staff list, the more I recognize and the more things I want to talk about. But yeah, no. Character-wise, you have the Liz and the Bluebird as new characters. Liz here and the Bluebird looking like this. Shoujo, I don't remember them calling her Shoujo. Maybe I missed it, maybe I forgot, but the Bluebird, of course, is humanized or humanified into an actual character. And holy shit, the voice actress for both characters, which is the same one, she did the voice acting when she was 14. Can we talk about how great she was in this movie? What? The whole anime feels very warm to watch. It has these two stories of Nozomi and Mizore, and at the same time you have the story of Liz and the Bluebird animated in another different way. It's like a painted tale, like a comic book you'd be watching, like reading a book. For all these reasons, I think there's no other reason to put it under an S. It's just one of the best movies that I've ever seen. And I could probably rewatch it 10 more times and still think of the same. In fact, I've seen it 13 times, 14 times, so yes, I could very well watch it 13 more times and still think of the same thing. It's an S. Now, on the other hand, if we're looking at the first official movie of the main story of Hibike Euphonium, with the main character Komiko Ome, this movie is another beast, but I understand that a lot of people didn't like it as much as the anime, like season 1 or season 2, because, and I kind of agree with it, the whole movie takes place in the second year. So you have two entire animes, 2 seasons, which are each 13 episodes, I think it was. The first, 26 episodes for 1 year, and then you have a movie that is an hour and 40 minutes for the entire second year. So it goes over in a blink of an eye. It goes so fast, and all the characters that you learn that are new in this movie here, there's maybe almost no time to get to know them better, because in the anime, of course, you have every episode, another plot, another story, background stories of each character. In the movie, it's just at once everything thrown at you. The movie would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes, probably, if every episode is 20 minutes. So I understand it's less content for 1 entire year, because the next season after that, the sequel, is instantly just the 3rd year. And a lot of people like that better because they had more time to get along with the characters and all that. But nonetheless, I still think it's an amazing movie. They finally play the song that they've been practicing in the previous movie, Liz and the Bluebird. You get to see the entire concert, which takes place during 8 minutes of the entire movie, all well animated from the A to Z. they obviously couldn't use the whole 22 minutes for it, but you get to see Nozomi and Mizore's duet, which is something I forgot to talk about. In Liz of the Blue Bird, the whole tale also feels more personal to those two characters because they have a duet scene of in this whole concert, in this whole piece that they're working on, and it's such an emotional moment, an emotional piece of the whole composition, where they have to play in an emotional way as well, and they fail kind of at it because they haven't really found the good harmonization between each other, which is the whole point of the movie. But in this movie here, you get to hear that part, you get to hear Kumiko's part, you get to hear everyone's part and all the hard work that they've put into it. I'm not gonna say if they won or not at the end. It's just part of the tournament. I'm kind of sad that they didn't put all the 22 minutes in it, but I totally understand because that would take like almost a third of the movie. So again, the movie, it's great. There are some tiny bits of criticism that you can give it, especially during the concert. They used some CGI to show a certain character move in a weird way, but it's so beyond the point. I think it's the perfect continuation of this whole story, and I wouldn't rate it as high as the other movies or seasons, but it was still a 10 out of 10 for me. There's no question on that. Nothing to debate it as well. And at least for me. I know some people prefer it less, but it's great. The characters are also really great, the new one. So you have one of the new main characters, which is Kanade, which I'm actually surprising is marked as a main character, but makes sense. You have a lot of supporting characters, you have reoccurring characters. Yes, you have Glasses Girl again, but a lot of them are just more, not really background characters, but more, as the name says, supporting. They appear to support the team. I don't think that's really the meaning of supporting in this case, but you have the new bass members in the bass section, which is her, Satsuki, Suzuki, and her best friend, where is she, the tuba player, really tall girl. Really? Oh, here, Mirei. She has her own backstory in this movie. You have so many different teams that change size-wise, and new harmony between each one of them. But yeah, no, the movie itself, great movie. I will probably put it a little bit lower than the other Hibike movies and seasons. Since I've put season 1 in A, I would probably put it in B, but I believe this movie could be better if I were to compare it with the other ones. On its own, it's amazing. I'm not gonna rate it under a 10 out of 10, but I think I'm gonna put it even lower at C, because there are some things that I wish was a little bit different, or that they would give it more time. It's never a bad thing to say, oh, I wish there was more of it. But in this case, that's just how it is. Now I'm thinking if I should talk about season 3 first, or about this next anime. Considering how this movie, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, is one of the older anime that I've seen since I've rewatched all the other ones. I've seen this after so many of my other 10 out of 10s, but in the sense of I've only seen it once in 2022, and since 2022 I've rewatched almost all of my 10 out of 10s. So in this meaning, it's one of the older on my 10s. I don't remember much of it. I just remember the core message behind it, and the whole. It was not really a plot, but it was more of an anime about 3 girls who like to animate. So in this anime, they create an animation club where they show the creative process of how they behind the making of such an animation. And it's not anime animation, but even westernized animation. Just the way they go from A to Z, starting with sketches, how they come up with ideas of vehicles or fantasy buildings, and all the behind the scenes of things that you usually never see. There's a lot to learn from it because there's another anime that did something very similar, which is called, I believe it's probably here. Yeah, Shirobako, the first one here. I did not really vibe with Shirobako. I know a lot of people like it. Not only did Aizukan do a better job at showing the behind the scenes work of how animation is created, but it also kind of looks better, in my opinion. It's made by Science Saru, who are also known for other things like, as we spoke, The Colors Within. And I'm really surprised that they actually did this before anything else. A lot of people know this studio from Dandadan, but it's the first thing that I've seen of them. And obviously it's the studio now that Naoko Yamada works for, which is even more of a reason to follow their works. Characters, very unique. You have Midori, the little gremlin, you have Sayaka, the big gremlin, and you have Tsubame, the rich girl, I guess you can call her. Maybe not. I don't really. She's very charismatic. She's the class beauty, I guess. But as I said, it's been 3-4 years now. Soon. This is another movie, or another. I keep calling it movie. It's another anime which I need to rewatch. Want to rewatch. Does it deserve a rating from me, or should I put it in the rewatch category? That's the question now, because I do remember some parts of it, just not all the details. I remember there being one song that I really liked, but overall not really memorable to me. Character-wise, other than these three main protagonists, I don't think I would recognize any of the other ones. They all have this distinct art style. It's really great. They all look completely different as well. A lot of dark-skinned people as well, which is surprising in an anime. You don't see this often. It's great. I wish more anime would do that. But the anime itself is an experience. It's not for everyone, I know. I would heavily recommend it if you like anime that teaches you something, like the few that I already showed you before. So I believe it's. I don't think it deserves to be rated because it wouldn't be fair to the others. I'm gonna just put it in the rewatch tier, and I could promise to rewatch these 4 things in the upcoming month or two, which is doable because I always watch something new, a seasonal, and then while I wait for something new, I just rewatch something that I've already seen, just in case there's a new reaction to it, or just to refresh my memory, just in this case, because I'm very forgetful. So these 4 things, I believe, deserve to stay in this category. I will rewatch them as soon as I can, but there's now only one left, one entry, which is, as mentioned before, Hibiki Euphonium Season 3. Now, does this season make a comeback? Well, not really a comeback, it's already great. Does this season triumph over its other seasons and movies? Does it deserve an S tier or a D tier or anything in between? Well, let's just say Season 3 was amazing. In my opinion, better than the Chikai movie, the movie after Liz and the Bluebird. Does it compare to Liz and the Bluebird? That's another story. Now, the anime itself, as I said, is about the 3rd year. It touches on the last spurt of the contest that they're doing, the tournament, the going to nationals, winning gold. There's a new main character in it, Mayu Kurue, who is the rival euphonium player. You can see her in this picture here, with the silver euphonium, the one and only. She is great. She is as good, if not better, than Kumiko. Now, she has a lot of backstory, a lot of trauma. You can all explore it in this anime. They explain it, what happened to her, why she's here, what's her deal with this music club. Does she want to be part of it, or is she just doing this because music is fun, and Kumiko has a lot of conflicts with her. Doesn't want to admit it, or doesn't know if she should admit it, if there is even conflicts at all. There's a it's a whole experience to go through the whole thing and finally get a finale, a conclusion to the whole story that we've been all waiting for. The characters itself, lots of new characters, lots of. Ooh, you have the 3 new bass section players. We have Suzume, who is a tuba player. You have Yayoi, who is also a tuba player. And the third one, Kaho, the third or fourth, actually fourth euphonium player of the group. Every time there's a new euphonium player, drama happens. Because who's gonna get to play at the end? You have auditions. Is it the third years or is it the new younger years? Who gets to play? Is it after talent or is it after seniority? That's a whole story as well in season 1 and 2, where there's conflicts about someone being better than a third year. Should we let the third year play because that's their last year and last chance to play with everyone else, or should we pick the one who's better? This is a reoccurring moment in this third season, especially with Mayu, who is also a euphonium player. Now, there's so many euphonium players that there's even more risk for Kumiko not to be able to play her parts. Now, who plays the solo? Who is going to play with the duet with Reina, who is a trumpet player? So many questions, so many new things to explore. I believe that the anime did a superb job at finding a closure with those 13 episodes. I think it was 13. Yeah, so 3 times 13. Absolutely great anime. I see they're gonna make not really a sequel, but like a summary very soon. It's gonna be yeah, just a summary of the whole third season, but they're gonna add new scenes to it, which I will be watching. But for season 3, I really, really loved it. There's one thing about it that I wish had more, or was a little bit different, and it's the music. They are reusing some music, of course, as anime does. There is new music as well, of course, but I wish there would be even more. I just love euphonium music. They use the same composer, I believe, as we saw before, but music-wise, I really loved the piece that they chose for the last concert in front of a public. It's another thing in my playlist. It's very long as well, but I don't mind it. The more the better, the more content for me. It's one of the highest rated of all time I just seen. Holy, what the hell? How is it so high? Okay, wow. Surprising to me, 88%, 87. Okay, it kind of explains how good it is. That just makes me curious. If this is 23, then how much was season 2? The movie was 219. Jesus. 119. Was it this much better? Holy shit. I guess it's just recency bias as well. Every new anime gets in the tops for a while before they drop. But it came out a year ago, so it's doing well so far. I'll never understand how people vote for these recommendations. Just because it's a club doesn't mean it's the same, so don't mind me downvoting some of these. But yeah, no, back to the anime. It's just a great anime on its own. I believe it deserves a high spot. Just maybe not in the S, because first of all, we already have so many in there, and is it comparable to season 1? I believe yes. Season 1 was the new effect, and season 3 was the oh, it's over effect. I want more. I wish there was more. And I still do wish there was more. But at the end of the day, I believe it's as good as season 1. It's hard to tell if it's better or not, but I don't have any other choice than just put it at an A. I'm kind of scared that I'm forgetting some stuff about these last entries, because I know I'm going to be editing this video and there's so many things that come to mind as I'm editing. I've already been working on this video for a week now or more, and been adding secretly scenes in between of things that I forgot, or some subtitles, some videos. I'm gonna be adding so many things into it just so we have something visual and not just looking at me talking. But yeah, it's been fun. Now I have to choose my favorite. Oh god. Okay, I believe to make it fair, this is against my rule, I'm gonna pick my favorite movie and my favorite anime. How am I gonna do it? No idea. So we're gonna put movies together. We have season here, we have the movie here, another movie, another movie. Okay, we have these first 5 and the last 5. Perfect. Now, if I were to pick an anime as my favorite, again, I always used to say Nichijou was my de facto favorite anime, just for the sake of being able to pick something. Is it actually my favorite? I believe it is not. I really do like it. I said I wouldn't pick City just in case, because I absolutely love it. You saw how much I fanboyed over it. But I'm not gonna pick it. That's another thing to put here. The reason why I'm not gonna choose Nichijou is because Nichijou is a very particular anime. It's not for everyone. For me, in this case, it's a... if I were to rewatch it, it depends on my mood. Like, I'm not always up to comedy. I'm not looking for a laugh every time. Nichijou has a lot of episodes. I'm a big fan of one core anime. As you haven't realized, most of these are one core. Rarely do I rate something with 2 cores above a 10 or a 9. But in this case, Nichijou is 26 episodes. It is a lovely anime, but I believe it's time to retire it from my all-time favorite and pick another one. Now, am I gonna pick Euphonium, which I absolutely adore, Violet Evergarden, which I have seen so many times that I still cry my heart out every time I watch it, or Frieren, which has an absolutely amazing story so far, but I don't know about the continuation of Frieren, so is it gonna remain good overall? If we're just talking about Season 1, then maybe, but I do have some complaints about Season 1, for example. There's some slower episodes, some episodes that don't really add much in context. The whole birthday episode, or the squirrel episode where they are looking for the seeds, and a lot of episodes that I absolutely love, of course. Overall, it has a good flow, just wish some things were different a little bit. Violet Evergarden, there's also some episodes that I like less than others. Overall, it's of course the perfect sad depression anime, but it's a really hard pick. But I think I don't have much of a choice. It's so dumb though. If I pick Hibike, then what's your favorite anime? Hibike second season, by the way, not the first one. So it's kind of hard to say just the second season of something. It's a hard pick, but I think as my favorite anime, if I were to do it like this, let's say Nichijou versus City, I would pick City. City versus Euphonium, I would pick Euphonium. That really hurt saying that, but yes, it would probably win over City. I need to rewatch City. Holy shit, I need to rewatch it just so I can make sure that I'm not going crazy. Hibike Euphonium versus Violet Evergarden. It's so hard to say. You know what? As for the movie, oh my god, how ironic would it be if I were to pick Listen the Bluebird? 2 Hibike entries. I don't know. Oh my god. The movie A Silent Voice is still one of my favorite movies to rewatch, and I think it should remain that way. It's the my introduction to Kyoto Animation. That's how I started finding out about it, I believe. Unless it was Violet Evergarden. Probably not. Absolutely great movie. Would rewatch 40 more times. Does it deserve to be better than the others? Maybe my rewatching it so many times has lowered the worth of it, or like, as I said before, the impact of it. So, I'm gonna say no. Okay. Jesus Christ. The Colors Within movie. Beautiful movie. Beautiful movie. I want to watch it again. I've only seen it twice, I think, 3 times at most, and there's no reactions on YouTube. I cannot give myself a better image of it if I like it as much as I really think. 2 times I've seen it. Please make more reactions so I can rewatch it. I'm not gonna pick this. Tamako Love Story. Perfect romance movie. The peak romance movie. Was it as good though as a movie? I liked the anime, but it was a 9 out of 10, and I liked the movie a lot, but I wanted more out of it. It wasn't enough. I'm not gonna pick it. The Tanks movie, Girls and Panzer. I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch everything 50 times in a row at once, all at once. 50 tabs open, all running at once. Girls and Panzer made me fall in love into something that I didn't even know existed, in me and on the internet. It's amazing. If you like shonen, you will like it. If you like Attack on Titan, battling, killing titans, you might like it, because it's girls fighting each other in tanks. The sound design, the sound. If I were to pick sound design of everything you see here, Girls and Panzer would win, just by sound design. But overall, I would probably not pick it as my favorites. That leaves Liz and the Bluebird, and I'm ouch. Okay, I'm done. Liz and the Bluebird wins. Hibike, once again, proven to be the best series ever on the internet. I do not regret anything. There we go. If there's any questions, leave a comment. I will read it, of course. I will respond to it. That was painful. Over a week to rate these, and I wanted to make a video of 440 anime. Am I crazy?